Hey, welcome back to the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours, I am your host, Jermaine Lockett. Today, we're going to have my guy, KAM RU, on the scene. He'll be here shortly, but before he gets here, we got to make sure we pass that collection plates. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. There are a couple of things I want to talk about today, and we'll get into them in just a second here. But let's see who just popped in the room on time. Bless Brian. I appreciate you coming through, man. What's going on? Much love to you. For those of you, if it's your first time here, please hit the like, hit the bell, hit subscribe. Let's keep this thing building. And for those of you who have stuck around, and those of you who have just joined the Couch Rider Raven Nation, I appreciate you because thanks to you, shout out to you. We are sitting at 982 subs. We were at 991. I guess 10 people or 9 people may have changed their mind before I even had a chance to do another show, but that is okay. We are on our way to 1,000, so please share this with your friends. We are extremely close, and I appreciate all y'all for coming through and hitting that subscribe. Oh, what's going on, Drop Dead? Hey, what's happening with you, man? How's everything going? All right, now let's get to it, folks. Let's get to it. Y'all already know it. G-Ro's still here. We still got to rock forward. We got to get over it. We got to push forward and recognize that it is players and it is scheme and it is execution of that scheme that is what brings success or failure to the team. So you can blame coaches, but you also have to blame the players as well. I constantly say that, and it's going to be a good point brought forward when I come to my next point after this. We got our guy on the show. As soon as he gives me a thumbs up and lets me know he is ready to rock, and I will bring KAM RU on the scene. Here we go, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you artist and actor, KAM RU.
Bro, you gonna come in with the intro like that?
What's good, man?
I man came in. I just came home from working out and everything. You got the suit on. You looking real smooth. Look like money up in here, brother.
Bro, I got church interviews. You know what I'm saying? I had church interviews tonight, man. Church interviews. I figured I was like, hey, this is double purpose here. This is for the show and for the church.
All right.
You know I said, make you feel better. I'll go ahead and unbutton one of these real quick.
What's good, brother? How you doing, man?
Relax. Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Sipping on your Coke 45.
Yeah, man. Man, I was feeling passionate tonight because of all the stuff going on. I'll get into that in just a second. I want to start off slow, but I was feeling some type of way with so much heat just getting on me, because of the way things were handled with this last day or so. With the firings of 3 coaches, whether it be assistant or whether it be head coaches, 3 minorities got fired this weekend. But we'll get into it in just a second here. But like I said, to go back through it, like I said, just to let y'all know, appreciate every last one of y'all. Shout out to you because we had 982 subs. Like I said, we was at 991. Yeah. We lost 9 just out of the blue. I don't know what happened. They just changed their mind and said, nope, this ain't it. I'm not really sure.
Look, you ain't for everybody. You ain't supposed to.
Yeah, you can't please them all the time, right?
Right. The real gonna ride.
Yeah.
That's how you feel, man.
But bless Brian, he just giving the Ravens ears. That's what I call them anyway. The Ravens definitely
building. I see you.
Yes, sir. All right. So the first topic we want to jump into after saying, hey, shout out, appreciate y'all for coming through is we're getting into that. Bless Brian saying that the topic I was about to bring up, what Tom Brady said to Lamar.
Okay,
is next. I think that's a pretty good topic. I was going to start with the needle, but I'll tell you what, we'll start with that.
Okay.
With Tom saying, hey, you're next, and then we'll jump into the LJ Needle piece. What are your thoughts on Tom Brady reaching out to Lamar on the gram and having a little misspelling, but the heart was there, the intent was there.
Yeah, he might have had a couple of downers. You know what I mean?
I say when you retire, he probably eating bread and everything right now.
Drinks, he was just saying, trying to get it out quick, and then he's like, he took it down. Probably took it down because the misspelling, not because but then he probably took it down because he didn't want everybody to be, that to be the Bear story or something else. Because people that would have blew up, and then next thing you know, it'll be on ESPN like, oh, he said Tom Brady said this about Lamar, blah blah blah.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
I think the main story is probably gonna be eating Tom. People gonna be like, Tom can't read or Tom can't write or something like that. But I think.
I don't think he probably just gonna take it as.
Yeah, it was just a small typo. But you know how people nitpick. They nitpick the little stuff. But I think like Lamar saw it, and so Lamar actually tweeted it multiple times. Of course, he's been tweeting or not tweeting, but he's been doing it on Instagram multiple times where other people have tagged him in it, along with his little cool Kodak video. He had a highlight video or something along those lines. But the thing is, I think Tom Brady was a big fan. Even before they played, he came out and said, "What's up?" to Lamar. Huge. Let him know, hey, I'm a huge fan. I've been watching. And Lamar's like, yo, I've been trying to be like you. I'm trying to win multiple, Super Bowls. He wants to get past his first hump, but he's really looking at Tom Brady as the model. And to be honest, if you look at Tom Brady's game when he was with the New England Patriots and Lamar Jackson's game with him in Baltimore, they were very similar games when he was with the Patriots. I ain't saying because his game Tom Brady's game really took a whole nother level to the outside.
Right.
His game in New England, it was a lot of interior game. He went a lot to the slot. He went a lot to the tight end. His reads were mostly the middle of the field, and that is exactly what Lamar is doing. He's reading the middle of the field. He's finding his slot. He's got his favorite wide receiver, of course. Tom had Julian Edelman, and Lamar, of course, has Hollywood.
If you want to even go further back than that, go back to when Tom first started. As when he got the starting job or the second, third year, and to see how he evolved each and every season. If you even take it back, take it back to 2007, brother.
Yeah.
When it was the Brian I can't think Brian Bullock. Coach Bullock, when it was his last season here, we had that the defense was flying, but the offense was. We just didn't have no offense, and that game was probably in my opinion, even though the Patriots went undefeated that year, that probably was the best game I've seen. Oh yeah,
we had the model to beat him. If it wasn't for Rex Ryan's ill-timed timeout, we beat him. Yeah, Mark's got a little tantrum, I guess, but the team really they brought it that game, even without a quarter, with Kyle Bowler still stepping in, they brought it. It felt like their Super Bowl. I feel like McGahee did his thing with 137 yards rushing, was just balling out. Mm-hmm. The defense really stepped up to play, and I understand the frustration in that game. There was a lot of passion behind it, and they thought they had it won. And Rex Ryan, who could have known? Who could have known that Brady would have converted the first? But they stopped him, and then because Rex wanted to make sure he was comfortable with the play, and things just didn't pan out. But it was a great game.
Yeah, I mean, and not to take, I didn't mean to sidetrack. I was just saying as far as like. Just him evolving as a quarterback. If you even take it back then, because he was always like on the hash when he had Wes Walker, because that's when it really started with Wes Walker before Julian. Like it was that that team. When he had Wes, it was just like in between the hash, boom, boom, boom. And look, man, I love the fact that he said something. To be honest with you, I love the fact that he said something because. I'm tired of hearing, just me as a fan, I'm just tired of hearing people say negative things about Lamar Jackson like he's not there.
Absolutely. And it's very frustrating because you see this dude and what he has to work with right now. And I say what he had to work with this season specifically. Tons of, 3 backup, basically down to the 4th and 5th string running back. They cannot get the ground game going. He's got a terrible left tackle. He was missing players all over that offensive line. People were having to plug in holes to be there. He didn't have Nick Boyle. I mean, and then there was just drops. There were drops in key situations. Now I'm thinking those players will be able to get it together. They will be. But I think that offensive line this year being, retooled, rebuilt, getting some draft picks because they got 10 of them. I'm guaranteeing you at least 3 of those picks are going to be offensive linemen, and they're going to be bringing in a lot of other things. They're going to move some things around the cap to create up to about $23 million in cap room. So there's going to be pieces that are going to be built around Lamar and also retooling this defense in order to come back bigger and stronger to where people will say, hey, you know what? Hey, he deserves what he deserves. That brings me up to my next point here. that's with Lamar and this money because of this past season. Do you move the money up or do you move the money down? People can justify both, but what's your take?
I mean, for me personally, would I give him more if I was the GM? Would I if I was the GM, if I played the GM role, I would give him more. But I want to make it a way that, and being that he's his own agent, I want to make it a way like, listen, I want to give you this money, but I want to make sure that we able to move money around so we can continue to build around you. You are our franchise. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure if you want to be the highest paid, we can work it out because you got it. He's got everything under his belt. I'm MVP. You brought every season other than this one because he's injured. We've been in the playoffs because of him.
Yep.
You've done everything. You've done more with less. And now the only good thing I can say about him being out, we had an opportunity to see how valuable he is, number one. And the other positions had to develop. Everybody else had to develop. So
D3 says needs at least 43 million per year for 4 years. So if y'all haven't seen my little YouTube short, go back and watch the YouTube short about his contract. I did a little preaching about 43.5. I feel like
I'll be honest with you though, but the fact that the way Lamar is, I kind of got a feeling that he's not going to ask for that. I don't think that he's going to ask to be the highest paid. I think
that would be falling right along the Tom Brady model of taking less in order to get a championship.
But I'm sure even though you're taking less, everybody thinks that Tom probably he only was the highest paid quarterback once, right? And then other than that, every time there was guaranteed. The guaranteed money is more important than anything. So I'm sure the guaranteed money and you taking less throughout the season is a lot. In all aspects of it, if you think about it. All right. What was Patrick given? Well, let's go Josh now.
I say Pat had 45. Josh had, I think, 43.
What was the guaranteed money for Allen? Like 100?
I think he was close to 200, I think.
200 million?
Yeah, it was close, I think. I think it was like in the 160s or something like that.
So say it's 160 that Allen was.
Okay.
Yeah, that was because I know his was higher than Patrick. If we say, look, we're gonna give you 175. If EDC say we give you 175 guaranteed, we're gonna just drop your yearly to 38.
Okay.
Yeah, to open up more cap space because that way they can keep building. You don't want to get the scary thing is you don't want to keep getting stuck.
Okay.
And that's what happened with Flacco. We made him the highest paid quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't do anything after that.
I think Eric DeCosta made a pretty good point when he said, all right, look, when we talking about high caliber players, like we're talking about quarterbacks, he talked about it's basically when you're going for a high profile car, you're going to have to pay a great deal for this high profile car. It's just exactly how much you're going to have to pay. You're in that market for that Ferrari, for that, for that i8. You're looking for all, that you got to pay this price. Right. Now, the price difference could be the difference between adding an extra player to your offensive line or adding another player that could be a key piece of the defense or not, or drafting those players within. And let's see what these guys said. Okay, so D3 says he can take less because he still has the deal with Oakley, right? Now, the thing is, like, when it comes to money, like if owners even come to the table and say anything along those lines, I'm pretty sure the player is going to walk away. Yeah, he's going to say, you know what, call me tomorrow when you get this off your mind. Stop digging into my pockets about what I'm doing with my money. Because the same thing, the same thing could be said about the owners. Because Lamar could come in there and be like the Players Association when they had the lockout and say, oh, okay, well, how much money y'all got on the books over there? When they're getting their money from oil, from cow ranching, or whatever dang things that they got their money into to put money into this business and have it as a tax write-off, which is none of the players' business when they signed that contract, because that's what they agreed to on the dotted line already. Now, of course, there was negotiations held for the TV deals and stuff like that, which was right. I felt that was just. I felt it was good. But at the same time, like if they go dipping into each other's pockets about what they're earning, And that's where conflict is going to begin.
That guaranteed money is the thing that I learned about Cousins. He's probably the smartest person in the NFL as far as what he's doing. He said the only thing that really counts is the guarantee. He said because you can get cut tomorrow.
Yep.
That's the sad thing about the NFL opposed to any other sport. You can't get cut tomorrow. They can't trade you the next day. They can't trade you that day. So give me the guarantee, and I'll run with that.
Like I'll be the first person if they're trying to find room on a contract. Yeah. And let's just say they gave Lamar a nice Pat Mahomes type of deal, and let's just say that they sit in Pat Mahomes' situation, which was like $12 on the cap one year. I'd be the first person to come to the table. Hey, look, I'm willing to go ahead and kick a little money down the road because I know that's going to be money that you give me up front. It is now guaranteed in my possession, in my pockets, in my bank account. Help me pay for the Royals or whatever habits my wife or my crazy brother Jackson is doing. So
that's right.
I would be like, hey, let's go ahead and restructure. Let's kick some money down the road a little bit more again, because honestly, I'm gonna make sure I get everything I got from that organization. Because when they done using me, they still gonna have their cap to deal with because they made those bad decisions.
Look, the game don't stop even with Tom leaving. You know what I mean? So I'm sure even though he didn't get paid as high as he normally does, he was getting money. They were giving him. He got his money in a certain way.
Oh yeah, he got money. The dude, wife rich. He got money, and the thing is,
I mean, I'm just with the Patriots.
He got money. He got 25 over 2 years. He said straight. Yeah, and the thing is like, I mean, we sit here, we're like wondering. I mean, somebody tell me, hey, 32 million, I'm signing right now. But of course, but that's somebody going from 72,000. From a certain amount of military money per year to up to that type of generational wealth that's going to take care of my family for time upon time. I guess it's an important decision. And somebody brought up saying his mama's negotiating the contract. That's an important factor as well. What's her mentality?
Because I was told that she wasn't. She said they kept saying that she's staying out of it. She just looks at make sure the paperwork and everything else is in order.
Yeah, and I think Lamar has a camp taking a look at the contract. He's already been offered a pretty big offer according to the show that I was listening to with I think it was Ingraven, another female Ravens broadcaster, and Kadri Ishmael. They brought up some good points about the contract and Kadri Ishmael actually knows the number. So if y'all want to bang his dag on Twitter down and just keep asking him like, hey, what's the number? What's the number? What is the number? Yeah. To get that number out of him, because he knows the number that was revealed that Lamar actually turned down, and he said the contract was a decent contract. It was a big number that they offered, and he turned it down. So I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind it. Right. But what I do say, back to my point on the needle moving in both directions, one, Lamar didn't have the talent that he could succeed with this year, and you can see without Lamar there, those wins weren't there. Right. That excitement, that thrill, that dead killer instinct that Lamar brings to the table, you could see that the offensive coordinators don't fail by themselves. They fail because of the lack of talent on the field as well. So with that lack of talent, that proves that Lamar is a next level player and deserves a big time contract because of that. Then of course you could say, okay, well, did the needle move down during his performance later in the season? I say those were he threw interceptions in bunches, and I think those were hiccups in his game. And that is not the full book. That is just simply a page in his book of the game. Yeah, this guy will excel. He will learn from those mistakes. He'll go forward. And guess what? That team or those teams, they just figured out a new way to try and throw at Lamar, which he's going to adjust to. That that cover zero blitz with those corners sitting, 10 to 15 yards back, where there was something that wasn't brought up before, something Lamar hasn't seen. It takes a while to adjust to those types of situations. Yes, it takes an offensive coordinator to adapt to those things. Yeah. And he's got, and G-Rose got to learn how to adapt to those, but he's going to have help. That's what the whole team concept is. Right. They're going to work together, and they're going to beat that this offseason, because now they have an entire offseason to look at something that everybody thinks that's going to beat Lamar. Right. What's he do? He comes back stronger with his preparation. Those wide receivers are going to come back stronger with the mentality of, hey, we got to get this done.
I think that just to add on to that, I think that Lamar, just the whole team lifts up. The last time we saw that was when Ray was there, when Ed was there. Like, and there's no disrespect to Suggs. The energy was always high with Suggs, but it wasn't like it was for Ray.
Nah.
When Ray stepped in the door, everything was different. When even just what Dave said, even when he came out there for that last practice, the energy level, because your hope is there. It's like I grew up as I don't know about you. I grew up as a big Transformers fan.
Oh yeah.
So I watched, even to this day, I watch like all the cartoons, right? And when Optimus Prime stepped into, like, they have the old movie, right? So I went through all of the movies that's been out, and then they got the cartoon. So you look up all the cartoons that's on Netflix, and then they got the old movie. I think came out like 85 or something like that, right? No, 88. I don't know what it is. It's in 80s. Anyway, long story short, I'm watching the movie. It's the first time I ever heard Transformers cursed. So I was like, they do that? But Prom got to there was I'm giving this as a scenario. They got there, everybody was like, the Decepticons was beating the Autobots, and then once Prom got there, it was like the tide changed.
Yeah,
and that's 8 when he walk in the building. When 8 gets hot, even if he's not hot, the tide has changed because you just had that belief. And I think that trickled down to his best friend, because Hollywood's game was here,
mm-hmm.
and when Lamar wasn't there, it's not that I don't think that he was not. Some people think that he gave up. He didn't give up. I just don't think that his energy was the same, because you're trying to build something. And not saying that he don't like Tyler, because he does. He does like Tyler Huntley, but you maybe it don't feel the same way. We don't know, because we're not in his head.
I think chemistry matters. Chemistry is a very big key.
100%. But I think he had time to build some type of chemistry, just a little bit of chemistry with Tyler during that time. But still, in all, it didn't feel like he was in it.
Yeah, I can guarantee you he felt like second fiddle, because Bateman and Huntley had a very, very big chemistry. And I'm pretty sure, like, when it comes to wide receivers, they're basically like spoiled little kids.
Right.
You ain't feeding them, giving them everything you need to give them. Right. They gonna get a little pouty, and that's just kind of what comes to the territory when you're dealing with a wide receiver, because the wide receiver and Devo go hand in hand. They want what they want. They want their targets. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson wrote a whole book about "Give me the damn ball," and it was a very selfish book. All I got out of it was that legitimately he wanted the ball more than anything, and he didn't care much about who else got the rock on the other side. He didn't care about W's. He just wanted the rock.
I don't think that he's like that. I understand what you're saying totally. I don't think that he's like that per se, because he still got a bunch of targets. Like, even in the game when they played Green Bay, he had 10 catches.
Yeah, I just think the chemistry was better with Huntley. I think chemistry was better with Huntley and Bateman.
Right. That totally, because during training camp it was always them two, and then Watkins was out and Hollywood was out. But I'm just saying, as far as like just his energy, his body language, he didn't. It's not that he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
Even when he caught the ball, he didn't look like I'm there. He didn't look like I'm there.
I think he was dealing with an injury as well. I think he was coming back from on and off with an injury. And like I said, I think this year you're going to see that transformation. Hollywood's going to go back in the booth again, start preparing to become what he needs to become. And you could see, like, I just love watching that dude's off-season preparation. Because the last 2 off seasons, I mean, you saw him fully on transform his body, gain 20 pounds, really go to work.
Yeah.
He need to go ahead and work on a little bit more of the tennis ball drills and a little bit more hands the situation, because there were situational drops that cost this team. Almost cost his team a loss against the Lions, and other times where he just wasn't clutch, like against the Steelers. Right. I think he's going to be having those plays on his mind and trying to figure out a way to make it happen. Let's see here. Let's go to some of these comments here so they can help pay some of these bills. All right. So, truth, Hollywood was epic in the playoffs with Lamar, and I fully agree. The chemistry is there.
Yeah.
Lisa says, get protection. Please get protection. help for LJ.
100%.
Yes, there's another article. Y'all go back and take a look at that. I talked about the offensive lineman, I guess, suggestions or possible fixes that we can have based on free or not free, everything except for free agency, I think. I talked about draft and I talked about current solutions within house. Y'all can go ahead and check that out. Here's another one. Prochet could have had chemistry too, but was held out of the last 2 games. What do you think about that?
That's facts. That's true. It's just it's the special teams part of it. That's the bad thing. Like when you the lowest receiver on the totem pole, you got to be able to play special teams. And it's not that Prochet doesn't play special teams, but he's not a gunner. He's not one of those. He's not the fastest. So all he can do is be the second. He's the backup kick returner. Well, Tyler Wallace got. He has speed, so he's a gunner, so he can do all those things. So that's the only thing. But next year. And it's no disrespect to Sammy Watkins. Next year, you're gonna see a lot of Prochet. Pro gonna make his money, man. He's definitely gonna make his money. He has Lamar's trust. He definitely has Lamar's trust. You saw that. So
absolutely. So there's another topic I want to talk about here was will the Ravens move to a 4-3 defense with McDonald coming in from Michigan?
No, I saw his presser today. Pretty much everything's going to be the same as far as like the scheme. But the thing that I like about him is that he's willing to adjust to what's in front of him. And we've always been a hybrid type 3-4-4-3 type thing with the rush linebacker, right? So, he's done 3-4, maybe 4-3, maybe 4. Like you even talked about a 4-2 up front. So I don't, and he likes to have the edge rushes in the motorcycle stands majority of the time. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see that all the time at the pro level. I'm assuming like at the collegiate level, because they're still learning. You want to keep them in something that they can master and then develop on. But I think that I don't think that that's honestly going to happen. I think, and what I do love about it, the fact that again with the adjustment, we talked about it all year. You talked about it, and Graven talked about it. Everybody, Tally everyone talked about it. And this is, when Wink was the DC, if you don't have the pieces, you adjust to what's there. If it's a different, if other than with Patrick Mahomes, when we played other teams that if you blitz the quarterback, it ain't gonna work. You gotta adjust. We should have been able to adjust for Cincinnati. I'm talking about the first time we played, not the second time.
Yeah, by the second time, it was just simply hiring guys off the couch and seeing how badly we could get beat. Now, I don't know what they was like having a contest or what, but yeah, we got the daggone brakes beat off us because we had bums off the couch, to be honest.
Yeah, the first time we should have been playing more. We should have been playing more zone. We shouldn't have been trying to blitz him, and especially being that he was like number 1 or number 2 against the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
That time. We should have been, scheming up fake blitzes to push forward and drop everybody else or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I miss about the Rex Ryan.
Right.
The organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's like you sit there and you see a defensive tackle going back in coverage at the safety spot. And you're like, what just happened here?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I miss about it. Like, if you saw what you saw is what you was getting when it came to Wink. Like, you saw 7 guys on the line, 7 guys were coming.
Right.
You're like, Wink, did you really want to? Is that what the play was? Like, I'm pretty sure somebody was supposed to be dropping back there because our middle's wide open. Like, you just left this guy who's not really a good corner on an island. Like, that didn't work out. Let's see here.
I'm sorry, because a lot of people they were talking about, when our edge rushers left here, like Judon, Yannick, and Ward. Like they're doing so well other places than they did here. But Wink wanted to blitz the middle linebackers more than he wanted to do anything.
Yeah, I can see that with Queen. Like with Queen, it's a great thing. And it's a great thing just sending him, straight up the middle and blasting because he has. I mean, you can see he is having fun.
Right.
And I think that's where he excels. When he sits back, it's a problem.
But the funny thing was, that 2019 season, he moved Judon all around the field. And it made so much of a difference where this year he didn't do that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he still did it last year when Judon was here, but He didn't. I thought he was going to do the same thing with Tyus because Tyus is faster,
Mhm.
and he can. I mean, he's good off the edge, but he can be even better if you move him everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? So, and just creating different types of blitzes. He didn't do that at all with Tyus. Tyus was just everybody was coming up. You was coming off the edge. You come off the edge. There was no type of chaos. Nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, Tyus, one of his strengths was definitely being able to pass cover. You know, he was able to play a zone, and he did it with a. I mean, he covered his zone better than most linebackers in the league.
Right.
The way that he was able to cover his zone, and I think that McDonald, he has to be able to come through and mix up the defense along those lines. If he doesn't, then it's going to be a problem because we constantly seeing, and if he brings us, if he switches things to a 4-3. I'm cool with it because when you look at the Raiders and you look at other defenses around the league, with their running that 4-3, guys like Yannick, he's going to eat. Right. And you'll start to see those numbers go up. However, the problem with the 4-3 is there's some gaps. That B gap and the C gap there usually are a problem because those defensive ends are just running the arc and leaving holes in the defense. And you can see their ground games, so their rushing defenses are not as good as those who run the 3-4 defense.
Right.
Let's see here. Tough Puppy says, "What's good, boys? What's up, man? I want to go back to D3's comment real quick. He said the presser made me cautiously optimistic. Our 9 picks in the draft will mostly be defense, in my opinion. I thought we had 11 picks in the draft.
I think we got 11, but I don't think we're gonna keep them all.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of trade up and downs based on what they can wheel and deal. I know that after having so many picks this past year, actually having to trade away 2 players, I think that they are going to recognize that there's a sweet spot on picks. And based on what this roster currently has and players that they signed in the offseason, and then those undrafted free agents are going to play into how many picks we have. And I'm thinking we're going to have about 6 to 7 picks total when this is all said and done. And I see an opportunity to trade up in the first round if the right player is there. Let's see. Let's go to the next topic here. Rockmaster Rashad Bateman breaking out in year 2. Actually, just before we get there, I think there was a comment somebody just had. Let me go ahead and get back to that. Tough Puppy says, we might go heavy offense in free agency and heavy defense in the draft.
I see that happening because our defense was the second oldest in the league this past year. If we do go heavy offense, it's going to be about that O-line. I mean, other than trying to get back Bozeman, hopefully we get him back, and perhaps you get a tackle. I mean, we have nothing on this line alone. We have nothing but guards that's playing backup. Even Patrick McCarr is truly a guard. He's not a tackle. He played well.
You see Orlando Brown, he's still not signed. He's not signed to the new deal. And if he can swallow his pride and come back on a right tackle deal, that'd be nice.
You don't think they're going to ink one?
I think that looks like if they ain't inked it yet, I think there's an opportunity there I think he's going to want to test the free agency to see what he can get. But if he's willing to swallow his pride and come back to Baltimore, because this is where his dad played. I mean, his dad wanted him to play left tackle. Right. But yeah, look at it. His dad didn't play left tackle. His dad was a right tackle ultimately. He told his son to go after that money at left tackle. Not necessarily, because I did it, just because, hey, son, that's where the money's at.
But these days, like, I really feel like we got to have a strong right and left tackle. So he could have stayed at right tackle. I mean, but again, that's on him. I was rooting for him, man. I definitely was rooting for Cincinnati, right? But I was rooting for him to do. He did his job. He did his job. I mean,
yeah, he did a decent job. It's just right now I don't know if that decent job is convincing enough for them to roll out the bank. You can't roll up the Brinks truck for decent.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's looking for is that Brinks truck type money. I'm hoping that he swallows his pride, come back to Baltimore, because then that would solidify the offensive line, because all we would need at that time is Bozeman to come back and Cleveland to recognize, all right, look, I am 6'6", I'm a grown man. Nobody should be tossing me around like they did this year.
Well, no, wait a minute, man. You're gonna get on my boy Cleveland.
There was a couple plays, and I looked on the all 22.
That was against the best interior defensive player. They're probably the best defensive player in the game.
it looked like he got tossed like a rag doll, man.
That's Aaron Donald, though. Aaron Donald tossed everybody out the club.
It was bad. It was bad. I think no, it was against the Steelers game. In the Steelers game too, it showed like he got kind of owned in that one.
No, he did pretty good in the Steelers game. I mean, Hayward probably got him a little bit, but he held his own pretty much in the Steelers game. But I clearly remember Aaron Donald when Tyler Huntley got sacked that second time.
Yeah.
The first time, Aaron Donald they ran a cross dog, and Aaron Donald, when I say he cleared the space,
yeah,
for the number 91 to get the sack, I mean he cleared the space, bro. He squatted him. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, come on, Cleveland. But I was like, he's a rookie. That was a pass. That's the only pass I could give him.
Let's see. Lisa says, isn't Mike McDonald the youngest defensive coordinator for the Ravens? He is the youngest defensive coordinator in the league right now at the age of 34. Yep. So that is pretty cool to see, Baltimore making history and giving the Young Bucks a chance. I mean, honestly, this is a young man's game. These young concepts that G-Roy is bringing up, these are concepts taught in high school and taught in college. They're brought up to this next level because of the old men have been running such a traditional offense for years. And when it was brought up, not necessarily by G-Roy, it's brought up by reintroduced, should I say, big time and successful through Carson Wentz when he was with the Eagles. When they were running RPO over there, that's how they ended up getting things rolling, and he started looking like an MVP. It's because the RPO was successful over there. And then that's when Harbaugh got in his mind, like, I need to bring a consultant back and let me get G-Roy back over here and see what's going on. And it started to be successful in 19 and 20. And, of course, this is a rotating league. People are starting to catch on. You need to evolve it just a bit to make sure that they're not figuring out how to stop this thing. Let's see what Shane says. Shane he's one of the most original thinkers when it comes to the We Are the Ravens flock. And sometimes his perspectives piss a lot of people off, but let's see what he says here. Let's see here. Shane says we need to not waste cap space on free agents as long as G-Roy is coordinator. I knew this was going to come up. I mean, like I said, this is just it's a topic that I feel that later on when I discuss this other team and other teams for that matter, you're going to see that it is player, coach, and execution of plays is what brings that success or failure. G-Roy cannot hold this whole thing on his own when there was a trash line, when the receivers weren't catching, when Lamar wasn't even in the game. You can't expect him to have it whole weight on his shoulders and say, hey, you're fired, because guess what? You couldn't win it with backup players and from running backs off the street and people off the practice squad and everybody's got COVID. You're telling me that this is the guy that's supposed to bring us all the way with the backups.
This is my thing though. You can't say, you don't want to say that because we still got that man behind you, that poster that you got, no babe, you still got to worry about protecting him. So you don't never want to say, that would be a selfish move for us to, okay, we're not going to even we'll wait to the draft and pick somebody in this 5th, 6th round that can play full line. We're not going to waste any money on if there's a quality tackle out there. Because we don't know what Javon James is going to be able to do.
Nope, sure don't.
He hasn't played in 2 years. Plus, he has an injury history, so we don't know how good and he could be like lightning in a bottle. We don't know.
Me personally, I think, hey, when it comes to the offensive line, bring in what you can bring in and make them compete.
That you probably can look. It ain't gonna hurt. It won't hurt us anyway because we got him for cheap. So it's not gonna hurt to try to bring somebody in. That line, I don't care about skill positions. As far as free agency is concerned, all I'm worried about is getting Bozeman back. Hopefully, Calais wants to play for one more year just to help the youngins.
Yep.
I want Calais more than, and no disrespect to Brandon, I want Calais more than I want Brandon because Calais is a true leader. I don't know if it's because he's from the U. It's a little different. I'm a big University of Miami fan. They breed him differently.
Yeah, I mean, don't get wrong. Big Baby showed up later.
He
showed up later in the playoff. Later in the season.
Right.
But for the most part of the season, you didn't see much with his performance. In fact, people were like, "Hey, drop Big Baby. I'm sick of Big Baby. All this stuff."
But for the money, he's still younger, and he probably still want more money. But this is the thing I'm saying as far as like just the leadership alone. Like, we can gather around and we can talk, and somebody can pump you up before the game. But you need somebody every time. If you watch training camp, every time we're discussing plays, trying to learn something, trying to learn the technique, it was Calais or Justin Houston dropping that knowledge and giving it to the youngins so they can be better players. If it was no, that's why OA called Justin Houston Yoda. That's why he called him Yoda.
Yeah, he's a master he's a tactician. So the thing is right now it comes to the point where that leadership it's going to help out some of those players. However, that body don't really catch up with the mind once you get a little older. And so, like, you're teaching the young players, but you got to give some of them reps back too. You got to give them reps.
So you signing him for a 1-year deal ain't gonna break the bank, and I don't think he's gonna want that. But he is if you really, other than Andrews, he was the highest graded Raven this whole season.
Yeah, but you catch him on a play action, and he was really struggling to get back around.
He ain't got the speed no more. But you don't need him every down.
Carson Wentz exposed him in that Indy game. It was like on those play actions, he bit and he was trying to get back, but Carson was like, "Nope, I'm already down. I got you already. I got you."
Yeah, well, he done got. Yeah, I'm not expecting him to play. He shouldn't have to play every down, but you should be able to. You still need that leadership to somebody to get you through. Ray wasn't Ray at the end of the time.
Oh yeah, at the end, he definitely fell off a bit.
Yeah.
Dee's got a long comment here. Let's read. With McDonald's Michigan connections and the defense potentially replacing veterans, if Ajabo was the pick at 14 and Daxton Hill, free safety, was there at 45, would you take Hill or someone else? What you got?
If he's there, if he's there, and we got who? David, we got Ajabo at
14.
I don't know. I guess I would take him. I would take him, but then, my heart is set on Kyle Hamilton.
I think so. I was thinking, like, all right, if Kyle sneaks out of the top 10, let's say.
I saw the mock draft. They got him at somebody had him at Bucky Brooks had him at 16 for going to.
He slide down. He ain't sliding past us. He ain't slide past us.
No, sir.
The thing is, the only way he would slide past us is if one of the top linemen slid to us. Yeah, the top offensive lineman. So,
and I don't think that's going to happen because everybody in that top 10 needs help at the front.
Yeah, I think they need to recognize that. Yeah, you got to protect your quarterback, and I think Baltimore can see that this year. Like, if you cannot protect him, he is not going to shine.
Mm-hmm. All of them need. Everybody in that top 10 needs help in their front. So,
here's something interesting. Lisa, she brought up Washington. They had a new name, and so I don't know did you hear about the leak before the name came out?
I heard about the leak about the names, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be something else. It sounded like a superhero. It's cool.
Yeah, so it was the helicopter peeking down into the stadium. They could see the Commanders written on the wall with the player sitting next to it.
Oh yeah,
that was the leak.
I didn't see it.
And then, of course, the next morning, the first thing we get up and see is that the name was real. It was real. They're going to be called the Commanders.
Yeah, well, they said they was going to do it on the 2nd anyway of February. Yeah. So it's cool.
So just a couple hours before. That's not bad. Good on the players because the players did photo shoots and everything else, and they kept quiet about it. And so that lets you know what type of organization that they're going to have going forward is one of trust within the organization. That's a good step, a good sign to see what that organization going forward is, that they have enough trust within each other to keep that quiet for the reveal.
And they say Coach Rivera said that he wanted to out of respect for to show love to the military and just to incorporate that, especially being at the Capitol. So they wanted they felt like Commanders was best. Yeah. I like the logo. I saw the jerseys is pretty tough. I had to buy 2 shirts to send them to my brother and my father. They're big Washington fans. So
that's cool. I got one homeboy. He's a big Washington football team, a Washington Commanders fan now. But yeah, he has always been a big fan of Washington. And I'm kind of glad to see them have a pretty cool set of jerseys. I love the colors. I love and actually the ones that kind of look like the Steelers ones. They have red around the numbers. The black ones. Those are fire.
Yeah, those are the ones I like. I said those are kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
That's good. Oh, we got a lot of people coming through to say what's up. Hang on, real quick. We got. Was that dress? I can't even. How do you say that? The Dresky.
Just
We're gonna call him D. D's here. D, what's that, man? Delicious. You know, I'm kidding. Yo, D. But yeah, he's here, man. What's good? I'm glad he came through. He's saying what's up to you too, man.
What's up, brother?
And then yeah, so like I said, we got about 11 people in the room. We had about 15 at one point in time. Make sure, if I got 11 people in the room, do me a favor, get 11. Can I get 11 likes? And can I get a couple more subs? Because we're trying to get, if I can get to 1,000 tonight, that would be magnificent. But we'll like I said, I'll go ahead and kick off the giveaway for the gift card or whatever. But look, like we're so close. We are right there at 1,000. And that is the opportunity there to get monetized and also do the super chats and stuff like that for later on. For those of you who want to donate to the channel and stuff, there you go. But of course, if you're looking for an opportunity to donate now, that opportunity is right here. So if you look down, right let's see, wait for it. It's over there. Over there. As far as the money sign, Couch Raven. If you're looking to donate to the channel, that is one way you do it. But if you're looking for the super chats, then that'll be coming up if you get me to 1,000 subscribers. And of course, the more money you put into me, the more money I'm gonna put back into you with giveaways and stuff along those lines. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, let's move forward here. Engraving is sitting at 50,000. He's having fun with it, man. He's doing his thing. You know what? And the first thing he says is I love you.
Chance now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting started. If I had started this in 2014 instead of sitting with the website, because apparently Baltimore Ravens fans don't read, no disrespect, but I'm just saying, y'all do not like articles because you're like, nope. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice, but I'm not reading this. Sorry. I sit here. I mean, I will put my heart and soul just pecking away, just getting it. 8 hits. I'm like, come on, what is going on? It hurt my soul, man.
Too long. It's too long.
So it's like, yeah. So my boy D Delicious says, get the boys to 1K. Absolutely, get us to 1K, man.
Talk to him, D.
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate it.
What's the next topic, brother? What you got going on here? You did your homework?
Yeah, I did some homework, man. I did some homework. Let's see it. Let's go over there. Did I do my homework? All right. So as far as the homework goes, you asked me to look up safety Jordan Battle. I got a guy. He's 6'1", 210 pounds. He had about 3 picks in 2021. I see him as a thumper. This is a guy. It is not leap off the tape type of special, but he has a player that would be a good fill just in case we could not afford the likes of the Joker back into the fold. He is a true strong safety. I'm still looking for that guy who's that free safety out there. Y'all let me know who's that dude. Of course, we're talking about Kyle Hamilton. But if Kyle Hamilton was not available and we had an opportunity to pick up this guy, I would not be mad to see Baltimore pick up this type of thumper. He's a guy who does love to wrap up. He's a good tackler. He's kind of stiff in his movements, but you can see that he has decent instincts and he does not fear when it comes to the coverage. He definitely has that blanket type coverage, but it's just he's not jumping things to make big time plays on a regular. I saw that out of him, but like I said, big thumper, good size. I mean, you can't really teach size. 6'1", 210 pounds. If he hit a wide receiver nowadays, especially if he hit one of that Eagles wide receiver that what's it, the Heisman Trophy winner? Can't remember what their name is.
Smith.
Yeah, Smith. He hit him, he gonna break him. He gonna straight up break the kid, man. So I am definitely a fan of him. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's a thumper. I think he played free safety. I think he's pretty rangy. I think I'm on and off the tape as far as like him being optimistic as far as like it's hard for us as Raven fans. It's hard for us to look past the best that's ever done.
Oh yeah, we've been spoiled, man.
We've been spoiled. Even with the free agents that have come in to play free safety, we've been spoiled. You know what I mean? So it's just very difficult. But it's time for us to actually draft a free safety that can do it. Yeah. I think he has good speed. I really like his speed. I like his tackling ability. He doesn't miss much that many tackles. I think his percentage was pretty low as far as on the tackling aspect of it. So he, as far as missed tackle, excuse me. But he does he lays the wood when he's coming down. He's coming downhill. He's trying to take your head off. Trying to make sure you remember he was there. So I do love that because that was one of the things that people don't remember. Ed he would hit you. Ain't talk about it a lot, but that'll let you know he was there. So Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I was just flashing it up. But Shane did bring up a good question here. I was going to bring up my next topic was how many DBs are we returning? So that really just kind of brings me over here to this next part here is Marcus Peters or Tavon Young. Like, who we rolling with? Because both of them have big time cap savings.
Well, Hobbs already said we get 2 number ones back.
Yeah, so that was definitely letting us know that Peters is that guy, right?
Yeah, I already tell you Peters is not legal. So Hobbs already said that, so we're gonna clear that up. Now, as far as Tavon is concerned, I don't know, man. I mean, he has 1 year left on his contract. If we keep him, it's not gonna hurt. If we cut him, I think we save $5 million, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent amount. Let me pull it up right now. I wanted to make sure. So we cut him. That's close to $6 million saved. Looks like
$6 million.
Yeah, so it looks like about $6 million according to Spot Track right now. If they were to cut this guy, it will be the savings on the contract. But if Peters was to be cut, I think it's a savings of about 10. And I think Peters is worth the money.
He's more than worth it. I think they're going to do an extension with him.
Yeah, I think so. I think you give him a contract extension and you roll a little bit of that money backwards. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know it's going to hurt, but the TV deal comes through next year. Right. The TV deal will bump the numbers up significantly. I think they need to recognize, all right, this is where we need to do a little New Orleans Saints and put a little money on the back burner. It's not going to be stupid deals, but this will be an opportunity to roll a couple things back and put it on the credit card for next year.
And two things they could do. If they do, hopefully, what it sounds like they are trying to do right now, extend MP. They extend MP maybe 2-3 years. Either way, the extension, we're going to save $5 million. Now, if you really want the $10 million, you can cut Tavon. Now, I don't know if they want to cut Tavon or if they want him to play out his last year because he's been so loyal to the Ravens, and you know how we are. We try to keep that loyalty. And when Tay is when he's good, he's good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So,
and they said we got to have at least 4. Right. We have to have 4 respectable corners to face these Bengals next year. They are a monster. They're going to be a problem to deal with for a very long time.
We only going to have
they are young as all get out, and man, when you look at their cap, they sitting around 50 plus million that they get to build with this year, even if they don't win the Super Bowl. Or if they win Super Bowl, regardless, don't matter what the result is, they can get to go back to the table and have enough money to go do it again. And so we're gonna have a problem with the daggone Bengals in the North for a while.
That's because people gonna want to come up there. But if you see, they have. I'm sorry, we'll have those 3. We got Humphrey. Just say we keep both of them, Tavon and Peters. 3 behind them. We may bring Wesley back because we have rights to him.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's on RFA, so I think he's coming back, and that's pretty cheap. I think if you to not sign him,
right,
would be the equivalent of signing another or getting a rookie or something like that. Like, I'd rather have somebody with some continuity who has some promise, some upside, than pretty much taking a gamble on this lottery ticket over here.
And then, other than that, I think Dorsey is still under contract. And really, we don't have anybody. I think, or is Iman still? I think they kept Iman Marshall.
Okay.
I think they Darius is coming back. He's going to be either they're going. I think of Darius, they're trying to transition him to a nickel. To be behind Tavon. I don't know if we're gonna keep Dorsey. I don't know if it's gonna be Marshall, but one of the two are gonna be behind Tavon. What happened to Washington this year? Did he break his foot?
It was some type of injury. I didn't get the details on it. I have to look it up.
Ligament or anything. It wasn't like no knee damage. I think he broke his foot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So then, it's Anthony Averett. So I don't think Anthony Averett is coming back. I know that it would be nice to have Anthony Averett to add to the roster, but he let his talent level kind of explode a bit, or he's feeling himself, and he gonna want to fill himself with that nice contract somewhere else.
He deserves it. He deserves a chance, the opportunity to start someplace. If anything, I would like to. If you're gonna keep him, I would like him to slide to nickel and have, and then we gotta get rid of Tay, but
What do you think about this craziness on Twitter right now with Pat Queen and him talking to Tyrann Mathieu?
Well, they both from LSU.
Oh yeah,
that's your answer right there. They both from LSU, so you're gonna want your big brother come play with you. I don't think it's gonna happen because we need a free safety. We need somebody with some speed. Like Tyrann, honestly, he reminds me of Weddle. Not in a bad way. He reminds me of Weddle on the end. Like he don't have that speed anymore.
Yeah.
He can. I don't see him being that rangy though. I don't think Tyrann ever had to really be that rangy. He was in the box. He was playing the slot. I don't really believe he was like a rangy like center fielder. Like we need a center fielder.
Yeah. I think he can probably be that guy.
Right.
Obviously got the support from Chuck and all that.
Right.
But I think like I wanted him to come to the Ravens back when he was with the Cardinals or whatever back in the day.
Me too.
Because he had like so many off the field issues. I was like, man, I don't know if the Ravens were going to sign him. But he went for the basic like veteran minimum just to prove his worth over there, and then he got the big deal.
Right.
He went to free agency and stuff. So I mean, I think he's an excellent ball hog. And like you said, he's one of those guys that needs to take care better of his body as far as speed coach. Get him a speed coach to where he can still keep those legs, because once you start to creep a little bit closer to 30, the first thing to go is your legs, and I feel that today.
Gotta keep doing the quick muscle drills, brother. Quick twitch muscle drills. You gotta keep it going, bro. You gotta keep flexibility, keep it going.
Feel you. So Lisa said Anthony Averett retired. I think she's talking about Levine. Levine retired, not Anthony Averett.
Anthony Averett retired. Levine did.
Sorry, Shane's got a quick thought here. He's talking about the 4-6 base. Will we need safeties? Yeah, of course. You're still going to need that one safety sitting back there. I think when you look at a 4-6, think about just more heavies on the field. It's not going to hinder the secondary, the back end. Yeah, you're going to trust one safety in the back to be that ball hawk that you need. And honestly, this is more against like a ground. Honestly, if you're trying to blitz the heck out of the quarterback, scare them to death, this is what the 4-6 base is for. Yep. But the 4-6 was brought about before people started really utilizing the slot as far as the wide receiver wise. And then once Brady started recognizing, like bringing it out, like, hey, the slot is where it's at. This is where the money's is made. Yep. That's when the 4-6 was starting to be used less and less, because you can't match that linebacker up. You don't have Fred Warners all over the league. Yep. You can't match that linebacker up on a full-on, full-on speedy wide receiver. They're going to get burnt up and toasted on freaking the whip route every time. It's gonna look pretty ugly.
Even somebody like a Cooper Kupp that's not going to beat you with the speed, just going to beat you with quick route running. You gotta have somebody that can be shifty and that can move with him. So yeah, you can't do it all the time.
Nah, so it's got to be every once in a while you can pull up a 4-6 blitz, But I think Wink was he wasn't pulling 4-6s, but it felt like that he was pulling the daggone 4-6 by the way he was sitting in the house. It was crazy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So let's see here. Shane says new safeties is what we need. I think to get, I think I like what Chuck has here. I like what the Joker is. I want the Joker back, but we still need one of them to be a true free safety. I need Chuck to have a repeat performance of that Rams game on a regular. Like, okay, everybody where they're supposed to be, but okay, this is where you start to take those chances. This is where you start to jump things. Recognize that you can take chances because you got the rest of this team around you, because you've already put them in place where they're supposed to be. It's time for you to act and be that free.
Remember who was there at that Rams game when this
oh yeah MP Juice, man.
Yeah. Remember he was there. Yeah. Even on top of that, I want to give a little bit of love to Tony Jefferson, because I think he helped as well.
Yeah,
for being there. And I'll be honest with you, if we can't get the Joker back, I wouldn't be upset if we signed Tony, because I think he can start, and I think he would be. He still has enough in him.
Yeah.
That that he's able to run that. He's able to run the system, but he can be in the box. And Chuck is not a rangy safety, but he's shown, especially against in the Rams game, he's shown that he can get there. He's shown that he can move in and out the box, and that's what we need that. And he's very smart. I don't want to lose Chuck, and I think that Brandon will be good in the spot, replacing what Jimmy was doing. Play corner a little bit, play safety, play corner that way, and match up with everybody that comes through. Any tight end, he should be the hit man. That's what McCall. If Brandon come out and ball next year, he's no, I'm calling
Stevens.
Excuse me.
Stevens, you talking about Stevens, right?
Yeah, Brandon Stevens. If he what's the movie with Denzel Washington? Which one?
Which one?
He plays man, I can't think of it. It'll come to me, y'all. Just let it go.
Right. So let's move forward here. We'll go into.
There we go. He got to be the equalizer. There you go. He needs to be that.
The equalizer. Yeah, that's where he was cold-blooded there.
Yeah, he needs to be the equalizer. Come in and match up with the tight end. Come in and match up with the whatever receiver it is. He should be able to do that. He has the speed. He can do it. There you go. There you go, D. We on the same page. Equalizer. He should be able to do that. He has the talent to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, now you've been in the system for a year. I know it's going to change a little bit because Mike is there, but you've been in the system for a year and you out of school. Now, once you out of school, this next year, this is when your body's going to change anyway. Because now you're dedicating everything to your craft. You don't have to worry about anything else. Focus on your craft, and that's when everything's going to happen. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. I'm just here looking at my previous notes when I was talking about sign or resign when it came to the or sign or don't sign when it came to the free agents. And of course, I think I'm still stuck on the stance of, if Jimmy Smith wants to come back, let him come back for veteran minimum and, give him another shot. This guy proved it, hey, he'll be there when everybody else is broken down or whatever. So, hey, let's just keep him there for depth. And plus he can still hold any tight end in the league, it seems like. And then when it comes to CJ Board, I believe. It's a toss up. It'll still cost us $1 million, but it'll cost us $770,000 to sign to draft a rookie or an undrafted free agent. So it don't really matter.
Chris Board?
Yeah, Chris Board.
Yeah, he's a free agent, right? I'm sure.
He'll be a free agent. And so I say, hey, wait until late in the summer, see if he gets an offer for somebody else for more. But if he doesn't, bring him on back.
If he does get an offer, he's going to get an offer in a scheme, more of a 4-3 scheme, where he can play the weak side linebacker.
Yeah,
to be on the field. He did a decent job playing linebacker. He was a hell of a special teams player, but I can't think of the brother's name, number 57. I think it's Welch. He's from Iowa. He's a linebacker.
Yeah, I think it was Chris Welch.
Well, he actually did a pretty decent job as far as coming in, and they allowed him to play the mic while Queen was at the weak side during times when they took Tyus Bowers out.
Yeah, I think I'd be excited to see the other guy you wanted me to do homework on with Chris something. Was it Chris Harris? Christian Harris.
Did you see him?
Oh yeah, but just seeing him in the championship game, watching a couple of reels on him, I like everything he brings to. I'm talking about this guy bringing the heat. Yeah. He gonna break every time. It look like he about to just break somebody's legs. Oh, at every tackle, look like that dude gonna be on IR. Oh, he got up. Because crowd talking about Christian come through with the thunder. He hit people with the thunder. I'm like, my goodness.
When he dissected, bro, he's in there. He definitely would be. I could see him playing the mic and Queen playing that weak side, and that would be a deadly combination in that middle. Because I think they're moving Malik out to the Sam linebacker.
Okay, that'd be different.
And that makes sense because he's 6'3", he's 250, he's 245, 250. Mm-hmm. So that might be it might be better for him out there. He may not have the speed to stay inside because he wasn't really going side. He wasn't great side.
He just couldn't hang with wide receivers.
He was putting him out, huh?
Yeah, he can stop the run.
Oh yeah, anything straight ahead, he was putting them down. But sideline to sideline, that wasn't really his move. So him moving out to the Sam linebacker behind Bowser is a good move for him. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
As far as don't we have other undrafted linebackers we've been training for a couple of years already to take Board's spot? I'm not really sure. That's something I think that it's going to be a battle in camp, and I think there's going to be even more linebackers brought in through the draft and through a free agency, undrafted free agents brought in to compete for that spot because it's wide open.
But that's how Welch got moved up to the 53 because remember he was on the practice squad last year. Yeah. And then Boyd got injured, and then they moved him up. And then when Boyd came back, Boyd was playing special teams, but he was also getting more time on the field because then LJ got injured. So it was like a little circus, little lady, everybody tag teaming in, you know.
I feel you. So, all right, so we're gonna move forward here. This is the topic of the night. I feel like it's been discussed very well in detail. I want to, for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch the lunch break hot take tonight, they really went in detail with the history of black coaches in the NFL. And I'm not going to be able to do it at that caliber, but I do want to talk about this topic. Hey, is the NFL racist? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because y'all been watching the news. You seen Brian Flores, he got fired from the Dolphins after having a winning season. Yes, it was 9-8, but it's still a winning season. And then on top of that, he goes to try and get a job with the Giants. He goes and gets some other interviews. And these coaches are basically playing the Rooney Rule in the wrong. Let's say not coaches. The owners are playing the Rooney Rule in the wrong manner. They are simply bringing him in as a formality. And I think that is a faux pas on the organizations that are doing this. Give our minorities an opportunity to legitimately interview for this job. Don't just pull them in knowing that you already got somebody else hired. That is dead wrong. I feel like 3 coaches got fired this weekend, and they were all different circumstances, and they were all black coaches, whether it be assistant or head coach. So let's take a look at it with.
Tell them the reasons if you don't mind. Do you know?
Okay, so with Maurice Drayton, he was, y'all saw the divisional playoffs game with the Green Bay Packers. He was responsible for. I mean, ultimately he wasn't out there, blocking, but he did teach the technique and the discipline. And there was a lack of it during that game because there were numerous kicks blocked, field goal, and a punt in that divisional loss against the 49ers. So I think that might have been an emotional firing. He had a short leash. He got 1 year. He just replaced somebody. And
just got there. Just got there. I'm sorry to cut you off. He just got there. That's all I'm saying. He just got there as a coordinator.
Yep. Not going to have time to develop, right?
Exactly. I was about to say you don't become A1 overnight. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. And you know how Jerry Jones is. Jerry is quick to fire kickers and fire everybody based off of emotions. Right. And I think this was more of an emotional fire. And I don't think it was a racist one. I just think that they were very ticked off about this. They had the team that they wanted to get where they needed to go, and he just happened to be the whipping child because those players did not step up.
And this is the Dallas Cowboys, correct?
Yeah. So this was he was fired from the Packers, but I'm just saying Jerry Jones is the guy who really acts off of emotion after a big loss.
Okay, I thought you okay. Because I didn't hear about so I'm sorry if I'm ignorant to this quote. I didn't hear about the fire. So go ahead.
And then there was John Emby, I think for the 49ers. They asked him to take a pay cut, but the reason is why? Like, why are you asking this guy to take a pay cut? John Emby, I think he was for the 49ers. Let me go and pull this up, man.
What position did he?
Thought he was an actual assistant coach.
He's an assistant coach.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a coach taking a pay cut. I'm sorry. I don't care what race you are. I've never.
He was a tight ends coach for the San Francisco 49ers.
I've never heard of.
I mean, honestly, you sitting here coaching up one of the best players in the NFL, and you want me to take a pay cut?
Time out. I've never heard of a coach taking a pay cut. Never. Player, yes. Never heard of a coach taking a pay cut. Mind you, the coaches don't get paid nowhere near as much as the players do. But continue, because I got a lot to say. But I'm going. I want you to go ahead and say what you got to say.
So that's that one. With the pay cut. All right, look, You know, why is this guy having to take a pay cut? Like this organization got money. It's not counting those assistant coaching contracts. They don't count on no cap. Why is this guy having to take a pay cut? And it was anybody else asked to take a pay cut in this organization? I'm not sure, but that is a full on slap in the face when you have got to that position and all of a sudden they're like, "No, we just gonna cut you back a little bit." That was just like, "Hey, you gonna get fired pretty much, unless you take this hit, a swallowing of pride." And I don't know why. But that's dead wrong.
Okay.
Let's see what some comments are. Let's see. There's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly feel this won't change till the NFL start getting some black owners. I think you may have something there.
Right.
My other problem, I'm gonna bring up some history real quick.
Hold on. Give me the third. That was two. Give me the third.
Yeah. Oh, of course, Brian Flores. So
okay, Flores. Okay.
Yeah, so you had Flores, you had Emby, and you had Maurice Drayton. So there are three guys that were fired in the last 2 days, or excuse me, 3 issues that were huge in the last 2 days with black guys. Way to start off Black History Month.
Okay. But go ahead. What you gonna say?
So as far as coaches that are, like Lovie Smith, for me, this is kind of what struck the chord for me. Lovie Smith having a 10-6 record. This guy, he started the season 7-1 in 2012. And then, of course, he lost the last 5 to get to the playoffs. But they fired this man on a year that he wins 10 games with trashy quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has some garbage ones. And, I mean, for you to be able to take that team and do what you did with them and still get 10 wins, with a solid, amazing defense that they just needed to go into the draft and get something else, that was dead wrong. And then you look at, like I said, Flores, he had a 10-7 record in 2020. This man went 9-8 in 2022, and he won 8 of the last 7, or was it 7 of the last 8 games he won. And I think it was a 7-game win streak or 6-game win streak.
Yep, 7-game win streak. Yep.
This guy was phenomenal. He brought a defense to basically shut down Lamar Jackson, and he basically put the stamp on the league to let him know, like, hey, this is how you stop this guy. And the tape was on national television for him to be able to stop him. He didn't even know who his quarterback was going to be because he didn't have faith in one or the other. And he still brings in the guy that he didn't want and still wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, when you look internally, so now there's some reports saying,
brother, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, there's some reports saying that he was paid, or excuse me, he was offered money to tank. I feel like when he was offered that money to tank, I think he would decide to go on that winning streak just to show the Dolphins, hey, blank you, I'm still going to be here to try and win games because that's what I was paid to do, was to come in and win these games. Now, the last piece I want to say on that got me hot was the whole fact that Hugh Jackson came forward. Mm-hmm. So Hugh Jackson, there was a comment on Twitter. This dude, he's saying he was offered the same. He won't even. Now he didn't say whether he took it or not. But when you lose 36 games and have one tie,
you said he didn't take it though. I'm listening to you. You said he didn't take it. You said he didn't take it, but he was offered. But go ahead. I'm
going to make $3.6 million if he had took that. And I'm hoping he did, because if he did, he just implicated himself. And but I feel like, why did he wait? Why did Hugh wait on somebody else to come forward before he came forward?
Just to add on to that, he said that he didn't blatantly bring it out because he didn't want to, the inconvenience for the players and whatever after it happened to, after he got fired. But I
feel like they was on nasty terms already.
He tried to bring it forth in some way, form. I guess he was hinting at it. I didn't. When he got fired, only thing I didn't like when he got fired is that when he got the job and Baker Mayfield was doing all that ignorant stuff, because it's not necessary. Every man got to eat.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like that. Yeah, he shouldn't have. Yeah, Baker shouldn't have went out and did that. Like, look, if somebody wants to hire me within division, like, all right, look, man, we're gonna make you the top, PR expert for Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Guess what?
Yep.
If it's paying the bills and I get to go ahead and do what I love, I'm that PR person, and I'll make my $300,000 a year, something like that, for my family,
Right.
And y'all could be a little mad, but I'm gonna make my money. This dude, he went out and he wanted to go make his money. The thing
on top of that, sorry I cut you off. The thing on top of that is that I was taught as a man, you don't do two things. You don't count my money and you don't touch my food.
Yeah. On my radio.
If you decide on my radio, you definitely I don't care about my woman because if she did, that's a human being. If she decided to leave, then you find
her choice. It takes two to tango.
So there's two things that you don't touch. So on top of that, my thing is this. It's first of all, I wanna applaud Brian Flores for stepping out on a limb because people think, oh, he's doing this because he wants to get a job. He's definitely gonna guarantee.
No, it's not about the job.
No, it ain't about that. And he may not never get a job. He may get blackballed, but he said himself, look, I know I may not never get a job, but the point is, the truth is, we need to get a fair opportunity. We need to get a fair shake. Whether you're black, Hispanic, white, doesn't matter. If you already made it, in majority of the time, it's not that they've made a decision who they want to hire before they get to the black coach, or they just, we're going to hire such and such before we interview, but let's just go through the Rooney Rule and interview.
Yeah.
They may want to go through people not thinking about it. They may want to just do the Rooney Rule just because you have to do it. But they don't know who they want to hire. They just know they don't want to hire you.
Yeah. And that's what's frustrating. Because when you look at it right now, 35.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know how many Giant fans may see this. Don't care. I grew up as a Giant fan before I became a Raven fan. I'm from New Jersey. Okay, so before there was any purple going on, I stopped being a Giant fan when my cousin got to the league and was playing for the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. That's when I was just a fan of him. And then I was always a University of Miami fan, and I always root for Ray Lewis. So that it just boiled me over that way. Anyway, long story short, I said this to my friends, and that's not to be mean. It's just to be honest. And this is from me, my not just my perspective, my observation as when I was a fan, and me being here in the tri-state area of New York and New Jersey. Two things are never going to happen. May happen now, but honestly, it will never happen because you kind of know what you're dealing with when you see it. The Jets organization is totally different than the Giants organization.
Okay.
Right? And the reason I say it like that is because the Jets have no problem hiring or drafting
minority
on of color or different. They don't care about that. One of the things that when they hire Salah, he's Muslim. There's a very huge Muslim population in the state of New York and New Jersey. There's a lot of people. Some of my friends are Muslim.
Yeah.
You know, some of my friends are Jewish. Some of my friends are Christian. Some don't even have. They don't believe in religion. It don't matter. The point is, there's a melting pot of people here within the tri-state. Okay, every walk of life is here. They've never been afraid to hire a black coach. They've never been afraid to draft a black quarterback. But the Giants, not even being afraid, they're the only team that's been here, and I'm saying like since football has started, that has never taken the time out to even address that form. Forget about a GM, because guess what? The GM is not the face of your franchise. Your head coach and your quarterback is.
I think I got 7 different teams here that they haven't looked at it at all. So you got the Falcons,
I'm talking about
that.
No. I'm talking about teams that have had quarterbacks and that have been around forever. Cowboys have had a black quarterback. They have one now.
Oh yeah. Black quarterback. Okay, you see,
quarterback or coach, it doesn't matter. It's those are the phases of your franchise.
Yeah.
Point being, they've never had neither. They traded for one. Yeah. They never drafted one. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And they're not going to draft one within the first round. It just I don't know why. I'm not going to call the owners racist. I'm not going to do all of that because
it's like I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it because of what's there. Because I'm seeing a 70% black league. I'm seeing 35 to 40% assistant head coach or assistant coaches are black, which tells me that they should be in line to be the next head coach of
One minority
organization.
One owner that's minority. One. And
one coach. One head coach right now.
Where's Khan from? Khan is from the U. Is he not from London? Is he not from the UK? Officially, is he from the States?
Oh, I think he's from the UK. Oh, yeah.
Look at the fan base in the UK now. How many Jaguar fans? Not just alone NFL fans, but how many Jaguar fans are from there? It was a marketing move, and it's nothing against Shad Khan because I think he's a great person. Never heard anything negative.
I just don't think he knows how to run an organization
because he doesn't know football like that.
No, he knows soccer. He knows soccer. He knows business.
Right. He knows business. But most of these owners either grew up watching or know football.
Yeah,
a smart man, but again, it was a business move. Now we get the UK. That was just a business move. As far as ownership, Puff was trying to get Carolina when they were looking for a new owner. Didn't happen.
What I need to see is what's up with Bieniemy. My thing is,
I'm not gonna give way for ownership. I'm sorry, but go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I'm just like Eric Bieniemy has been that guy. I told you before, when I was talking about the whole G-Row thing, I was referring to this whole Eric Bieniemy thing. It is not 100% Pat Mahomes balling out of his mind. He has some amazing plays and he makes some great throws. But when you look at the red zone offense, you can see the lights of Bieniemy coming forward. And Andy Reid has said it himself that, hey, this guy is calling the plays. It is not me, although I have that thing in front of my face. It is Bieniemy calling the plays and me having a discussion with him. But ultimately, this guy is calling the plays. It is an opportunity. He needs the opportunity to lead an organization. They talk about the interviews are going wrong, but at the same time, how many people got fired this offseason?
Yeah,
There's a lot of Caucasians that got fired this offseason. I'm not talking about being racist. I just want equality across the board. If you got a black guy in the interview, if you have a Mexican guy in the interview, if you got an Asian guy in the interview, give them a chance to lead men. They have the opportunities out here for everybody else to lead these men to fail, to get fired, but they're not giving these opportunities to everyone equally. I just want it equal across the board. Bieniemy deserves that opportunity. Leftwich deserves that opportunity, and right now he's getting like edged out by Hackett when they was really excited about him joining the organization, but now because of a disgruntledness between a GM and Leftwich, when Leftwich was actually going out to go hire a staff, he's not getting a job. Bieniemy should have been hired over here in Denver because he got an opportunity finally to get an interview. And now he's not giving the job.
I don't understand. That was the only interview. Makes no sense, but go ahead. I'm listening.
In Minnesota is sitting here waiting potentially for the Rams offensive coordinator to get done with the Super Bowl. When there's tons of people out here who need to be hired.
I just got that chime. He's hired.
They hired.
Now there's 4 vacancies left.
See what I'm saying? And it's just like you went after a guy who was already on another team, still had his focus elsewhere versus actually interviewing other people. And did they actually obey the Rooney Rule right now? Who knows? I don't know if they interviewed a black coach.
Yeah, they interviewed a couple. Minnesota. I mean, it's certain organizations. I'm not going to say all. It's certain organizations that I do believe that they're willing to, as far as the hiring process has not changed. I think we as Baltimore fans should be patting ourselves on the back and be very happy with the fact that, number one, we have a Hall of Fame. We had a Hall of Fame GM that was black.
Yep.
Okay. Won 2 Super Bowls, and now what is he? The VP? I believe.
He's somewhere. He's still in the big decisions, but it kind of gave him just more of a backseat title.
Yeah, just sitting in the cut, chilling, being paid because he's always going to be part of the Ravens
until he decides to go take over Alabama or something.
Right. Yeah. So he, like Steve said, he'll be paid wherever he wants to get paid to do.
Absolutely.
We should applaud us because we've always had.
Yeah.
They've always done something to be at the forefront.
Yeah, equality just means so much more to me because it's not just about it's not about us anymore. It's not And I'm glad Flores came forward. I'm glad he was bold enough to make
Right.
this stance. But at the same time, like there are people that are still going for those jobs, and these owners need to have a change of heart.
It's
You need to
just
recognize that the ideas and the ability to lead these young men does not. There's no skin barrier between it, and you need to give these other guys an opportunity because the way that Eric Bieniemy leads that offense, the way he's able to help develop Mahomes, because it's a twofold relationship. They're learning from each other and learning from each other's mistakes. Bieniemy has a huge hand in that. When it came to Flores and the position he had when he was in New England, Belichick was so disrespectful that he didn't give him the title of defensive coordinator. He gave him a different title. And then he just trolled him on the text message when he accidentally sent it to him, meaning he went and he was trying to send it to Brian Daboll saying, hey, congratulations on the job, when he sent it to the wrong Brian. He didn't send it to the wrong Brian. That was Bill being a butthole.
No, I don't. I see that part. I disagree. I think he did it on purpose, but I don't think he did it to be an ass. I think he did it to that was a key for you to be like, this is something for you to take and use against them, because I think
he did it strategically to give him the tea leave that
you
don't have a chance, and you should probably do something about it.
I think Bill's he's a strategist. I think that he did do something on purpose, not to look like a butthole towards the world, but to, hey, oh, my bad.
I'm airing this. I'm so sorry about my fault. I'm so sorry.
You got something here.
Yeah.
Because I think he really believes in Flores. He wouldn't have had him with him for so many years. I mean, he's been with New England.
I still want to know why he didn't give him the defensive coordinator title. He did not give him that title when he was up there. I feel like that was some type
of Patricia. I don't think he gave anybody the title.
Patricia, when Patricia left to Detroit,
right,
Flores was supposed to step up and be named that position.
Before, even though when he got the job, he was known as the defensive coordinator. But I'm saying before Matt Patricia, I don't think Belichick gave. He don't. From what I remember, he didn't even. When he was the defensive coordinator for New England, my cousin was playing for them. But after that, I still followed him, of course, but I don't think he ever gave anybody else that lane. He didn't even give his son that lane. Because his son been there 20 as a coach of 20. Like, who's calling? It was. I remember. Do you remember the game on Monday night? They were like, "Who playing? Who's?" And then that's what I was thinking, Bill. I'm not even gonna lie. I really think he was trying to get the Giants.
He's like, all in one text. Took him all day. He's like, you know what? This is for the Super Bowls.
Yeah, because I think that in all honesty, he loves the Giants so much. He never got the opportunity. But I don't want to change the subject. This is what I wanted to say. As far as the owners are concerned, and it's still unfortunately in the NFL more than anything.
Yeah.
And if y'all hate me, please don't hate me. But it's the truth. I can't. If you hate me, you hate me. You know,
Come on with it.
They still have a plantation thinking of the way things are run, and it's not about the owners. It's about the players and the people that watch this game. It's about the coaches, and it's about, I don't care what your nationality is. If you are qualified to coach,
absolutely,
you need to be coaching. I was grateful, and and I'm not a Jets fan. It pisses me off that he just got there and he got so much grief. I'm talking about Salah.
Yeah, I feel like I think I like the Jets because
this is what I'm saying. Because we won't get it, but because you are somebody of color, already a problem.
Yeah.
Don't get another chance. Unfortunately, in this game, it's hard for you to get a second chance to be a head coach, especially being of color. In the NFL, when it is one, like you said, 70% of the league is black. That's one. Number two, on top of that, you can't tell me that Brian Flores, you can't tell me that last year's Super Bowl I can't think of his name, the head coach. What's the head coach for the Bucks?
Arians.
Huh?
Bruce Arians.
You can't tell me Bruce Arians. If anybody, and I appreciate him for saying and saying I don't know why Todd Bowles. They need to both have a head coaching job because they're worth it. He's been plugging he's been plugging Brian Leftwich forever.
That's what I'm saying. Like Bowles, Leftwich. I mean, Arians. These are. I mean, Arians got it. He got two guys that he knew that was going to get the job done, and he didn't care about the color. You know, he didn't care about the color. Andy Reid didn't care about the color. I mean, John Harbaugh, when he comes to his positional coaches, he don't care about the color. He had one of the top run games in the league. And now there was a point to where he did give the job of run game coordinator to Juan Castillo instead of giving it to, I think it was Will Montgomery or whatever. But Montgomery was a running backs coach for Baltimore, and he was the reason that run game was excellent. And when he gave it to somebody who had a bad performance as far as the offensive line and trying to get them to adjust to a zone scheme that they just could not understand from him, that's when Will was like, "No, I'm out." So yeah, I do still think that there are decisions.
I think that was more, but see, that's two minorities. But that I think that was more because those are ties to Philly.
Yeah. I think it was buddies. It was a buddy system, and that's why I'm thinking too. With the buddies, it's just a little bit too many buddies going on with the owners. Like, you should not know who's getting hired in your organization until you until you actually talk to the person. Like, Bill should have never known about what goes on in the Jets organization or the Giants organization. Mm-hmm. None of them should have known until the person who you talking to in front of you should have been like, all right, that's the guy. Like, we talked about it. He's our guy, and that's why we keep it internal.
But see, this is the thing. It used to be. Now it's like it's an all-in-one package. When everybody gets fired, we're gonna hire everybody, right? So yeah. We're gonna go. If I hired, I gotta hire the GM. The GM's gonna know whatever head coach he wants. It used to be you hire the GM. Some teams still do it, and then that GM looks through the coaches that he wants to go through.
Yep.
Most of the time now, it's like I'm gonna hire the GM and the coach at the same time. Yeah. Most likely the GM is going to outlive the coach. But you can't tell me just to go back. You can't tell me that before the GM for the Giants stepped down, he wanted Joe Judge over Eric Bieniemy. Who the hell was Joe Judge other than somebody that worked for Bill Belichick?
Honestly, I hope somebody gives Eric Bieniemy a chance, and this dude goes undefeated. And I hope he go. I hope he make it very clear on the podium and say, "Hey, look, this is for every one of them. This is for the Houston Texans. Right. We're hiring Cully, who was a terrible wide receiver coach from the Ravens, to come play in Houston."
Right. But he was a fall guy. They knew it. They couldn't find anybody. He knew what he was signing up for.
Yeah, it's like, thank you for the picks, but Cully was not that dude.
No, but they wasn't looking. They wasn't. They that was their fall guy. They wanted to put him there because they couldn't get Watson back, and then they had all the look what they were doing. This goes back to it. I mean, we don't know if they were just trying to, we're gonna give you extra dough just to lose games.
Yeah.
Don't sit up here and tell me we hired him because we had differences of opinion on how to run things. That's BS, because I know Cully, as much as he wasn't a great coach, he was good enough motivated that as many people as they dropped off the team, they were still trying to win. So that tells you something about who he is. That tells you something about what he's trying to do. It's the same thing with Flores. If you think about it, he takes that money. He takes it, and everybody, it's just he say, she say type. Look, I believe it. I believe it went down. The only reason I believe it went down, you don't need to tell me anything else, because if it didn't go down, he would have responded by now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no response, because you know why? It was more than just me. It was more than just me and you talking. It was the other people involved with what was going on. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like the same, just like all the stuff that happened in Washington with Snyder. It's people involved. Just because there's no verbal text, he's not trying to get anything from doing that. And then someone says, "Well, why didn't he do it, or why he just now bringing it up?" You trying to make sure that you do your job. If you do your job, if he took that money and you're a black coach and you lose, you're never gonna get a chance again.
No, because they're gonna be like, "Yo, where's your integrity?" And then at the same time, these players, These players, this is their livelihoods.
Right.
This is their opportunity to show, like, hey, whether or not they deserve a ring, a jacket, a contract, all these different things. And you're sitting here sabotaging this organization. These owners are expecting you to sabotage the guys that you've been riding and dying for in training camp and all of this. You got them eating everything that comes out of your mouth because you're the one that's speaking the passion into these players and getting them on the field, getting them ready to rock. And you telling me that you set up a sabotage for them? You want this owner to get, like, there's no way you can come back from that.
Now, when Hugh Jackson said something, it was funny when he said something. They had on ESPN, they had RG3 on, and he said, it's funny that you say that because, and he said, I don't know if it's true. He said, but that's the same year he was there, and he said they cut so many players that could have helped them win within that beginning of the season, before the season even took off.
Yeah,
a lot of players that
this is when in Washington or
no, when he was at Cleveland. Cleveland. He said it's funny that you said that. He said because of what's happening. You don't have anything to win off of this.
Nah.
He was a head coach at he's the new head coach at Grambling State. And that's what he wanted to do. He don't have anything to win off this. So he's not gonna get any money for it. So, people are like, well, why did he say something then? Or why, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just like, if you want to ask that question, why didn't, and not to be mean or anything, if a girl got abused or raped or something like that, why didn't she say something at that time? You know what I mean? It's different stands. Of course, that one's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's a little different. So with those situations, you're still dealing with the post-traumatic stress.
Right. You trying to figure out, okay, how's the best way of going about things? You can't just be like, oh, well, why didn't somebody say something then? Or why didn't somebody say something then? You can't do that. It's just, if the fact that Brian Flores probably got to the point and he was like, you know what, man, bunk it. Oh, this is, you got me up here thinking I got an opportunity to get this job.
3 different spots.
I get a chance to the coach. I may have a chance to coach at the Giants. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I want. You think he don't want to come here and coach?
Yeah, I'm like he was really looking forward to the opportunity, and I feel like he was hurt behind it. But here's the fix. I got a fix for it.
Good.
So this Rooney Rule right now is absolute garbage. Honestly, it is a formality, and I think that there's got to be changes. And I think Steve Harvey was really where I think I got some of this from the year that Lamar Jackson got the MVP, or I think it was the year after. When he started talking about the pretty much pro bono, like, hey, you give us a black owner, we'll give you this, that, and the other. He was joking about it.
Yeah,
there was some truth to it. Like, all right, this is where you need to up the ante. You get a minority. If a owner hires a black or just a minority coach, if they hire that minority coach, and it should be a locked-in contract for 3 years to prove themselves, for one. 2, up the ante by allowing, if it comes from another coach's organization, then guess what? They get a first-round pick, but they have to serve at least 2 of those years that are guaranteed of that deal. That 3rd year, okay, that's the hot seat year. We'll see if they can pull themselves together, whatever. But that 3 years is what should be the expectation in order for a coach to get themselves together that is a minority, and giving the incentive after that. So let's just say, like I said, first round pick would be the incentive instead of those third rounds, whatever. Make it a priority for these other coaches to want to sell their assistant coaches to these organizations, saying, hey, this is a leader. This is who you want in this organization. Not just selling them so they can get the pick, but selling them to get them that opportunity because they deserve it. And these coaches, these owners need to be locked in with that person until they can see, hey, this is what I'm buying. This is what I'm ultimately getting from this. And I feel like if they don't do something like that and these 3rd round picks get tossed around like it's candy, nobody's going to care.
This is the thing that I mean, I'm with it if it happens. But the sad thing is that it shouldn't have to happen at all. Yeah, you should hire the best man, and no one can sit up here and tell me in my face that every team how many 9 vacancies?
Yeah,
it was 9 teams that was vacant. You can't sit up here and tell me every team went through Half of these jokers that have no experience.
Mm-hmm.
Coordinator. This is why I got upset when another um, podcast YouTube, they were saying, "Oh, we need to fire Harbaugh and bring in Kellen Moore from
The Cowboys.
the Cowboys."
I think they just kind of get jumpy when that stuff. Whenever they get emotional when the season's over, and it ticks me off.
But this is my thing because nobody's thinking. This is why I say no new hotness. I was joking with Engraving. I was saying no new hotness. And this is, again, I'm not knocking Kellen Moore. I'm not knocking Brian O'Donnell. I don't care what your nationality is. If you know me, if somebody really knows me, I'm not racist. I just tell you how it is, and I treat everybody the same way. Right? You can't tell me that he's more qualified to be a head coach. And since we're using Eric Bieniemy, than Eric Bieniemy. Mm-hmm. Don't because you hot right now.
Yeah.
You hot right now because you got those pieces right now.
Yeah. Well, when you're in the 5,
you got. Hold on. Just look at Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Look at Dallas right now. When Gallup was healthy, you got 3 number ones.
Yep. Their number 4 is a number 1 on somebody else's team.
Right. You got 3 number 1s. A decent tight end. Pro Bowl running back, Pro Bowl quarterback, and always had a solid line. Don't tell me, man, Stevie Wonder could draw up plays for them. I don't care what you're talking about. Like that you can't tell me that he's a better coach than somebody that's been to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and been to the NFC Championship as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, been to the AFC Championship 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes has been to the AFC Championship with Eric Bieniemy as his coordinator 4 times in a row, and he doesn't have a job as a head coach.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. I think Shane just brought up a good point too.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He said transparency in the hiring practice. Basically show your work. Mm-hmm. I like that. They need to actually have it as transparent as possible to let us know, hey, all right, this is why we didn't hire this black guy, this Mexican guy, this Asian guy. Right. Let me know, let us know. Because obviously they telling everybody else behind the channels.
Hold on, just to piggyback off that, there's an Asian brother that didn't get a job. He used to play offensive line. He didn't get a job because they said, "Oh, you're not the right minority." I forgot the story was on ESPN. I forgot the name of. I forgot the guy's name. He's Asian. He didn't get the job because they said, "Oh, you're not the right minority."
That's crazy.
Because he wasn't black.
That don't make no sense because, and the thing is, like, honestly, if I'm trying to hire somebody, I'm trying to hire somebody like I don't want to do stereotypes and stuff like that. But if this guy has a history of analytics or whatever, I want him on my team. You know what I'm saying? If they're good at math, I want them on my team because then you got Harbaugh over here talking about analytics and stuff, and maybe his analytics guy isn't as good as this guy. Maybe if I get a head coach that knows the analytics offhand, then no matter what the nationalities, they have different skill sets. Everybody has different skill sets they bring to the table, whether it be white, black, Asian, whatever.
Right.
You need the most qualified individual. And if this Asian person happens to be good at math,
right,
and can bring those analytics to the table, that only elevates what he can bring to the team.
When I know some people feel like Mike was already predetermined as going to be the DC. I don't honestly feel that way. I think he was always a strong candidate.
Yeah.
Because Harb saw something in him. And he almost got the job before, right?
Yeah, you know how Harb's like to hire his friends. And I mean, that's the part.
I think this was a good experience. You're a young coach, go to the play, coach in the collegiate, and then come up.
Yep.
It was a great experience for him. Mm-hmm. It's not to take away from anybody that's on our team, any of the other coaches, whether they're black or not. As coordinators, it's not to take away from them. I think it wasn't predetermined. The only reason I'm saying that is because everybody that he went in an interview with, majority of them weren't Ravens already, other than Coach Weaver. So that's when you're trying to look outside the box to find something. And to be quite honest with you, all the coaches were older. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm be honest with you. I don't want to didn't want to switch the detail of as far as like going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. I like the fact that we have that hybrid scheme because you don't know what we're going to give you.
Yeah.
I want to get back to what Rex used to do, or something.
Oh yeah. You definitely want that Rex back, and of course, but you got to recognize, like with McDonald, huh?
When Chuck Pagano was there, I think we had the perfect mesh of everything.
Oh yeah,
and he was on. That I think that defense was solid, like front to back. Like you weren't going to be able to run. You weren't that year. That was the year that we should have. That what's the name missed the field goal. That was the year that we should have went to the Super Bowl when we played New England. That front to back, that defense was solid.
mm-hmm.
And I think that was the perfect marriage because we were switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4. We would switch this, we would switch that. Like we wouldn't always play man. We would go to a zone. Yeah, he was. Chuck was that dude. Chuck was that dude, bro.
Now I think Shane brought up the Asian guy. I think you were talking about Eugene Chung. Was that the name?
Yes. He was not the right minority. How do you say, like, I'm trying to figure out how you say certain things to certain people without you getting slapped up. I'm sorry.
You good. Right, so, Wise MK, thanks for coming through, man. Says, honestly, at first blush, and I could be wrong, I don't see anything special in the new DC. I've listened to him speak a few times, and I just don't believe he's got it. Some people ain't speakers. Some people are action guys.
Yeah, if you want to go by just Wise, if you want to check, if you really want to think about it, look how what's Hutchinson, how he talked about
Aiden, yeah,
how he talked about Magano, how he talked about him. Like he really didn't. He said I was really just playing before I knew him. So he changed his whole hope. He's been there all 4 years until this year. He was able to do what he had to do.
Yeah,
those past 3 years, he really wasn't. He wasn't really getting it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give him that pass because you obviously did something, and he did a great job. He must have did a great job with the linebackers because not only Queen but Bowser, LJ, they all were raving about the fact that they were happy that he was the new DC.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me, I'm rolling with them. They know better than we do.
Absolutely. I think when they go back and they looking at these things.
Yeah, the players are happy that you back and they like what you were doing with them, beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
and they're happy that you the DC. They must know something that we don't know. So
I like the high energy of the guy. They showed some videos of him previously coaching with the Ravens.
Yeah,
the way that he got those linebackers up, that he motivated them. He kind of let them know where they were and how they could progress to the next level. And I love that type of fire. It wasn't just the over the top craziness like Rob Ryan was bringing and stuff. I think it was legit passion for the skill of the position. And he was generally coaching these guys, and they were eating it up. They were listening. You can tell the difference between the players when they ain't listening. They over here drinking water. They bending over, tying shoes, stretching, or whatever. These guys were locked in when McDonald was talking.
Yeah, he's a player's coach, man. He got, if players love you, man, they're gonna play hard for you. That's just what they're gonna do.
Absolutely. Here we go. So Shane says at least Harv's explained why he liked him over the other guys. Yeah. It explained why he came with the different version. And I love Harv's because this offseason he showed more transparency in these pressers than honestly I've seen any coach in the league for years, other than Rex Ryan, showing the transparency when it comes to talking to the reporters. He gave things. There were things that he did throw some players under the bus, but he did talk about. He talked about his coordinators as well, huh?
Who, Hobbs?
Yeah, he threw the wide receivers.
Yeah, but you know what? This is what I like about that, though. I know you have some people say, like, engravers say Petty Hobbs or Petty Hobb or that. This is my thing. That's his way of coaching without, like, sometimes your parent, your parents used talking to their friends or somebody in your family. They gonna slightly pop you without popping you with the words like, yeah, you're acting up, but like he went at Bateman without people knowing he was going at Bateman unless you knew. When some of our receivers got to run the right routes.
He was just like, they didn't know the routes.
Yeah,
and I think Jimmy Johnson used to do it too.
Huh?
Jimmy Johnson, he used to do that as well. He kind of he just called him out in public like, hey, this is where the issue was. And I mean, I think Jimmy went by name sometimes.
Yeah, but the old school coaches,
Yeah.
they don't care. They would try to embarrass you. But he was just, he said, some of them, and he said it lightly. He wasn't trying to shoot him down. Same thing with Giro. He was like, well, I hope he's here. I mean, we still gotta
He's like, we got to score points, and that's ultimately what it's about.
You gotta get this right, But he was honest. He was, in his own form of fashion. He's being honest without killing their spirit and embarrassing them. He's not looking to embarrass anybody. Coach Hart's never been looking to embarrass you. Even when OA did some of the cool stuff, he pulls him to the side. He talking to him like, listen, you can't do that.
Now I will say this: that I do feel like in the past, Harbs has been that dude to protect the coaches
right
a little bit more than he does the players. Like I feel like that he would be like, okay, it's just because the execution of the play, instead of recognizing, okay, maybe this play, the scheme needs to be adjusted a bit so that this player can maximize their potential on that particular play. And I feel like he needs to recognize that it's a balance. You got to have that balance. Just like us as fans,
right.
A few of us, they want Giro's head. They want it on the spit. They want this guy ran out of town or whatever, do not come ever back to Baltimore. We got shotgun. Wait, they want that. That's what they want right now.
I'm not understanding that reason. I mean, I'm not a big Giro fan, but I don't understand why people want him going so bad tell me, you had less to work with.
Yep.
You still, total offense was still in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. We was 13 in running. 13 in pass. We used to be last in the league.
Yep. And
then we were what? Number 3 in rushing, right? And then most of those yards are probably because of Lamar, because of Tyler Huntley.
Yep.
Because we really didn't have, but you had less to work with. You had, let's count how many starters you had.
Yeah, so you had 17th points per game. He was 17 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
He was 6th in yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
He was 13th in pass yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
Rush yards, he was averaging 145.8, but Harbs admitted that it was mostly the quarterbacks doing that because you had a trash run game between the running backs. I mean, Le'Veon Bell was a failed experiment that they went through with, and they kept trying to push that up on us and trying to push Murray up on us, even though his game wasn't coming together until week 18. Right. And then you had Freeman, who was explosive. You had Tyson Williams hidden in the basement somewhere, and it's just like
his job though either. Look, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about Tyson. I understand everybody wanting to see him out there, but you're not drafted. This is Anthony Levine lived by this. He said, if you're not drafted and you're not the starter on here, what you got to be able to do? Play special teams.
Yeah.
And the more
said a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
yeah. You know we go late, son.
You know what's up.
We always
he kind of Harbaugh, when he called him out, I think it was mid-season, because everybody was wondering, where's Tyson? He said the special teams comment. He said you gotta learn to block. You gotta learn to run, hit the hole. He mentioned everything that a player should have to do in order to play football.
Right.
It was like a really hardcore tongue lashing, but I feel like it was a sample size that Tyson was only allowed to give. But ultimately, when you looked at his performance, he was explosive. I think you got to look at that. You got coach up the rest. But give this guy a shot. If you see your running game hurting that bad, don't wait till week 18 to finally unleash him.
Well, I think, this is the thing, and it's funny, we got engraving up here. The game that killed him was when he didn't show any fight, and that was when he was still involved with the offense. Was the Cincinnati game. Okay. You had the opportunity to get that first down, and you the running back, and you step out of bounds against a DB. You told me where your heart was.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying? You told me that you wasn't fully in it. And look, we all love Ed, and Ed said it best. And I know I always listen to Ed, and this is just it's full code. It's always been. We all play ball. If you play ball, you know this. Coach is going to coach. Players gonna play. I can't do but so much. You lead the horse to water, you can't make him drink it. I'm giving you the scheme, you got to execute the scheme. Execute, execute, execute. Reed said it all the time, and he sounds to be funny. The funny thing about it, every time Ed Reed said that, it just made me think about my coach in college. It made me think about it every time. I'm giving you this play, do your job. I can't make you do it. You got to want to do it. Every time. I swear it's like, he would say it every day during spring ball. Every day. I'm giving you this play. This is the coverage we playing. You got to do your job. That's all he would say. And Ed was always about that. He said, lead the refs out of it and lead the coaches out of it. Because at the end of the day, as a player, you got to execute. You got to do your job. And I think, they were just on a different level, just Ed himself, because what did he do more than anybody else? Him and Ray. Study. I'm not saying everybody on the team don't study.
Yeah.
But you gotta know the game. You gotta know. Now I don't know.
I think those guys had a little bit more autonomy when it came to what they did on the field as well.
It was more love. Look, everybody wasn't caught up with social media and doing all the extras. It was just about handling their business. But as far as going back to going back to Tyson Williams, I was rooting for him. I'm still rooting for him. They can re-sign him. It's just that maybe, being that this is his real first year, maybe he might maybe it might be a good learning experience for him, because I don't know if Justin Hill is coming back.
Nah, I doubt it. Like I said, I saw a tweet last year back in January, and I felt that was kind of like the end for him.
He was going to get a starter if he didn't. He was the last running back to go down.
Yeah. And he would have got that shot. I just don't think he's going to get it now, and I don't think they're going to waste their time on it when they can go get something cheaper out of the draft or the free agency. And I think, especially with Tyson Williams, maybe getting another chance, or because I don't want him to go the route of Bernard Pierce. When Harbaugh put Bernard Pierce in the doghouse, he never escaped until he got down to Jacksonville. It just did not happen for him.
Smoke. That was Bernard like the smoke, B. You got to give up certain things during the season. He didn't want to stop. I don't know if it was because he was Philly. It just like he wanted to smoke all the time.
I think it was just that one fumble, and then it was just like Harbaugh was like, "All right, to the bench." And I was just like, "Wait a minute, this is your guy who was coming shot out the cannon." He kind of reminded me of Gus Edwards before Gus Edwards got there. Yeah. And then I was just so excited for him. I was about to go get his jersey because it was like, first game of the season. I'm like, I know he's going to be blowing it up, because every time he's been given a rock in the past, before he was the starter, before they was trying to give him a starting job, he was shooting out the cannon. I was like, I love the way this guy runs. And then they had a terrible ground game for the rest of that year, or it was meh. I think if Terrence West came through, made a couple of things happen, but like it should have been Pierce.
But part of his last season at Baltimore, didn't he get in trouble for something off the field? And it just kind of like after that happened, you really didn't see him.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, Harbaugh like, you dead to me once you make that big time either PED mistake or one of the substance abuse mistakes. Harbaugh's like, you dead to me.
I was like, man, I can't trust you.
Yeah, somebody's agreeing here with you. Both of us. Giro would call some money plays all game this year, but the personnel couldn't get it done. Giro doesn't miss the blocks yet, and so there were some times. Yes, there were some great plays that Giro came up. Now there's sometimes like on those 2-point conversions, I didn't agree with the play call. I didn't agree with the call altogether as far as being able to go for 2. I feel like we should go in overtime. That's just me. Some people are like, you got to gamble to win this, that, and the other. And I can agree with both perspectives. But as far as the play call, once the decision is made, you go to your bread and butter play. Yeah. And for the Baltimore Ravens, their bread and butter play is the veer, is the QB veer. You give it to your best player on the field, and you stack that line, and you make that D stop it. And that way that QB can pick which of those gaps to go through. I think Giro, he picks decent plays. He has good schemes to come up with, and everybody is just treating him as the whipping child, because a couple people said it on Twitter and a couple people said it on ESPN about how Giro's horrible. The guy has schemes that work. They brought in consultants from the Navy. They brought in the consultants from Clemson, from all different places to learn air raid, RPO, read option, all of that. And the thing is, when it comes to coaches, so here's my philosophy when it comes to coaches.
Hold on.
You
Look,
can't.
that QB, you gotta give me another player instead of that QB bid. You can't.
Okay. You want something else about the QB bid? I love the QB bid, man. I'm telling you, like it works. It works like 75% of the time. You see the QB very working, whatever. Only time it didn't was in the playoffs, and that's because Lamar chose a weird gap and decided to do something just oddball against Tennessee. I don't know what happened there, but the
QB, you talking about in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I just in that particular time that we did it, I just thought it was a bad play because it was too obvious to. Yeah. I don't know. It was just too obvious. Like it was too obvious. We weren't playing with the right energy. It's 4th and 1, like, and it was like inches. So why not just sneak it? Just make it easy. How about make it easy instead of making it so difficult?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. He just picked it. He picked a different gap. That wasn't even the veer on that one. That was just him picking a separate gap off a QB sneak when he should have went forward with it.
Right.
Yeah. But the QB veer, the way it's set up, I'm just like it allows the line to shift down, and at the same time, the quarterback is being so patient that he gets to pick the gap that he wants to go through, and that's how Lamar was successful. I think that's how they should have been running these plays when we go for 2. That same play to the flats every single time, they were tight coverage like I have never seen because they recognized that defense recognized, hey, they're going to the flats on this, whether it be the Ricard or whether it be the Hollywood. It's going to be very close, front of the end zone. Even the play that won us the game against the Colts, it was a flats type of play, or everything was very short coverage, and Lamar tossed it right there in tight coverage and was able to get it off. Of course, after people taking a look at this a couple of times, they recognize that this is where they're going. They did it all game, or they're doing it again.
Yeah.
So that's when the scheme should be mixed up. And I think, yes, it takes players to execute. It takes coaches to mix up the schemes and have a good variety. So I think Giro, he's going to learn this offseason. And I cannot wait for the second year of Keith Williams inserting these wonderful passing route concepts. And like I said, it's a brain trust. Y'all got to recognize it's not just Giro. It's T Martin in there. It is Keith Williams in there. It's Harv's in there. There are so many brains coming in there. It's Urban's in there. Yeah. And it's Lamar, because they're bringing everything that they got. They're like, hey, let's go look at the old school tape of what Lamar did good when he was in college. All right, let's go see what these concepts are from these different college sets here. What worked for other teams? Let's see if we can implement a little bit of that. They are really drawing things up based off of what is best for the team. And every year you get with that same continuity, that same fold, when nobody else is getting hired, because T didn't get hired by the Buffalo Bills. Right. He's still back.
Right.
You're getting more experience and more talent right there because of the fact that you are all still got that chemistry working together. To take Giro out of that fold, it hurts the team more than it helps
it. Yeah. Look, I don't, like I said, I'm not a huge fan, so I'm not being biased at the situation at all. I'm not a huge fan of Giro, but I don't dislike him. Like, I don't want to. I'm not looking for him to lead just so somebody can move up. I'm looking for him to lead because he's progressed and he wants to be a head coach somewhere. Or this is not, to me, this is not Cam Cameron and going from Cam Cameron to Jim Caldwell. Because Jim Caldwell, first of all, once Jim Caldwell really got in there, if we had the pieces, that offense was moving. That's why when Coach Caldwell became the offensive coordinator, that first week was and that's when we played Denver. After that offense was moving. After that week,
because they recognized there was a middle of the field that they were just completely thrown off and not using. All these out routes and stuff that they were using.
Yeah,
that's all they were doing, and they neglected the middle.
And if you think about it, our offense was horrible.
Yep.
Look, our offense, and this again, no knock on Flacco. Our offense, I love Flacco, man. Our offense,
I'll be honest with you, I did not love him.
Look, our offense was not great with Flacco, other than when Gary Kubiak was there and when Jim Caldwell was there. In between, it was like a cloud of dust.
Yep.
We may get 21 points. First game of the week, though. We We giving it to you. You get that's all our money right there. 45. We ain't got no more. We ain't got no more points for the year. Everything else gonna be defense. We've never had an offense this good. Not never.
Yeah. And the thing is, when people talk about Giro and his history,
right,
the night he got fired, that offense put up 37 points in Buffalo.
They sure did. They sure did.
Yeah. And I'm like, his history is a Super Bowl performance, or almost a Super Bowl win. And I'll be honest with you, Jimmy held on that play.
Hey man, you gotta let him play to the west. Let him. He wasn't gonna catch that anyway. That was too high.
Like now if Tom Brady had thrown that ball, you know that daggone flag would have went up.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? That flag would have went up. It was Colin Kaepernick throwing that ball.
We ain't gonna play if it was the fifth. We chill out. We got that.
But I'm saying, like you know what I'm saying. Giro coached a comeback game for Colin Kaepernick to take advantage of.
Right.
That was Giro.
Right.
And they want to diss this guy when he couldn't. Like I'm telling you, if he gets fired, let's just say he gets fired right now.
Right.
He has every bit of Lamar Jackson's tendencies, and he's gonna give that to a whole nother team that we're gonna see eventually.
I mean, it ain't just that though. This is look. I'm gonna tell. Let's keep it 100. He's never had a quarterback like Lamar. Colin Kaepernick, nor Tyler.
Tyrod Taylor, none of that.
Tyrod, I love Tyrod. I got love for Colin. Neither one of them are Lamar. Lamar.
They both make each other great. That's what I'm thinking.
That I do believe. Now, is he getting to the point where he can outgrow him? Yeah, but I think it's to a point where maybe we need to just do what Lamar likes. And I don't think that we are doing what Lamar likes. So there are certain times. I mean, you want to cater to this is your quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's do what works. It's the same thing with Tom. It's the same when he goes here. Look, let's do same thing with Aaron Rodgers when Matt LaFleur got there. Like it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Well, Aaron was used to calling his plays at the line. That's when they was rolling. Aaron doing it his way. I would do it, but then once they started rolling, when did they start rolling? When Aaron was able to get his freedom back. Yeah. Because you want that quarterback to be in their comfort zone. You want Lamar to be in his comfort zone. But Lamar sometimes when he called his own plays last season, when we played the Colts in Indy, he was doing his thing.
You got some fans, bro.
I'm just saying you want him to be comfortable, bro. You want this is just his whole body language. Lamar don't never want to. He don't never want to kill nobody at the mic. Like he's just that's just not him. So the time we was moving, this is the only time, other than the first when we played Cleveland, like I was telling you, that whole passing scheme changed. Mm-hmm. At once Tyler came in there because everything was short and then boom, short then boom. And that's what we should have been doing anyway against the zero blitz, or like I was telling you what they did with Burrow and what everybody else does. Somebody gotta have that choice route. If they do a cover zero, boom, just throw it to the side, let somebody get off. You know, you gotta let him. You do have to let him off the leash because he has to. You gotta just let him do him because he loves that spread.
Yeah,
he feels comfortable because he did it so much in Louisville. And that's where he was able to thrive.
Well, the problem is that this dude was sitting back too long to throw the ball this year.
But I'm saying this is the reason. You the play caller, right?
Right.
All right, this no. I'm the play caller.
Okay.
You know everybody going deep, but they sending a house to you.
Yeah. You got the audible. That's where you at the line. You got to check. You got to check with the wide receiver.
What's the check though? What's the check if it's nothing short?
It's supposed to be a drag.
It's supposed to be. You still not giving me the answer because there's no answer because they wasn't giving them a choice.
They was running mesh. When you watched the Miami game, it was these zero blitzes. The daggone the corners were sitting back 15 yards out of the line, right. And Giro called mesh. Right. And that's exactly what you're supposed to call in those things.
That was the one.
Have crossing routes so that Lamar can sit there and don't pass beyond the blitz.
Right. But all right, this is the same. They run the same. Titans in Miami run the same offense, same defense. Excuse me. If it's a zero blitz, they all playing 10 off. Why wasn't he able just to dump it on a quick hitch, like just give me 5 yards. That's a run.
Yeah.
They
started doing what they needed to do at the end of the game.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Notice Bateman didn't start getting off.
Yep.
Start doing that until the end. He should have been doing that. And it's not his fault. That's what I'm saying with Giro. Like, it can't, whoever's saying it, like, they'd be like, listen, we got to do something to get him out of there. Yeah. They weren't doing anything to get him out of there. And then it all looks bad because it's going to look bad on 8. So did he make bad decisions? Mm-hmm. Sometimes. But every quarterback makes bad decisions. Did he? But he was doing. Everybody got to remember, in the beginning of the season, he was up for MVP. And then when the zero came, it was like, okay, how do we adjust? We didn't adjust. We gotta adjust. They didn't. That's still on play calling too. You got to give him that freedom. He should have that freedom. Like, give him some type of signal. You give Hollywood some type of signal. Give Bateman.
He should know, like, all right, look, bro, you leaving with these guys because obviously they backed off that far for that respect. Yeah. If it's there, we're taking that shot
because they coming off the edge, and you know what they were doing? They were coming off the edge, and they had their hands up. Everybody coming off the edge. So if there was one play, it's on. They bringing everybody. Andrews was right here, he was right on he was in the slot.
Okay.
Just 5 yards. 5 yards in turn. Andrews kept going down the field. It made no sense to me.
I think that design was set up. That was definitely on Giro because that like whenever you see Bunch and you see Andrews at the head of that bunch,
right?
That play is meant for him to actually take a deep post and him catching it towards the back sideline. That's where they have to audible and recognize.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. When people used to try to blitz Tom will kill him. That's why the slot receiver became so popular because they used to try to kill him with the blitz.
Yep.
And Tom would hit him quick.
Yeah. And I think that's where we were missing Willie.
It was always a choice route. So that's just free. That choice route is like we playing playground ball. I'm gonna wait till you put that hand up and I know where to throw. Every time. And they didn't want to give him that. So they need to let him loose. They're gonna have to let him breathe and let him do what he gotta do at the line. Because when he at the line and he can roll and then stop ball every time they gotta huddle up, like let's just roll. Let's roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's see what C-Ron here saying. He said, I don't know about you guys, but I remember during that game, Lamar Bateman was on the sideline saying, what in the are we doing? And
I do remember that.
I've seen Lamar like passionate as all get out on the sideline because I think he wants the answers, quick. Right. And I've seen him, even in his college years against Clemson when he got hot in that first half, he was on the sideline just, man, I don't know if he was cursing, but that man was hot.
No, that's what they thought. I think Troy Aikman was like, it looks like he's over there arguing with the receivers. He wasn't arguing with the receivers. That's exactly what was going on. He was saying, what in there are we doing? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying this guy's Delicious saying I love the podcast and I love how you guys break the game down. I appreciate you, D.
I've been feeding over this gentleman right here. Couch be on it.
He said he remembers the whole hotness thing. And then said Bateman said exactly his hand with his hands in the air. And I think, that's where you have to, they got to come together with Giro and say, hey, look, this is where we got to change things. That's when T and Keith need to come through and say, hey, based on these, this is what we need to adjust.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest with you. Well, now at this point in time, maybe he's not going to ever come down, but I really think he needs to get out the booth and be on the sideline and talk to your quarterback.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, either that or let them guys get on the phone and have a full on. They got those phones back there for a reason. Have two of them on the phone at the same time. Hey, G, what you doing, bro? Like, put the snacks down.
Don't just have Urban showing me the iPad. Like, listen, man, this is the play we got to fix this. Somebody got to practice. Yeah.
Said Dez got pulled. So I mean, Dez wasn't used properly. Dez, I mean, you can see all Dez Instagram tapes. He may be embarrassing college guys and stuff like that on the tapes, but Dez still got bursts. He still has the ability to climb the ladder. I think Dez was a player that we utilized wrong when he was here, and I think Dez will, if he got another shot, let's say with I don't know,
not a Dez.
Yeah, huh?
We got a Dez. We just gotta give him a chance to play.
Yeah, and I think if we bring in, I think there shouldn't be another old school veteran brought in at all. Because this is opportunity for Bateman to show that he's going to break out in this offseason. I think this is where he shows, hey, I'm that X. There's no reason to bring in that next guy. You already got Duvernay here. If you're looking for a slide or something along those lines, Prochet Duvernay, let him interchange, whatever. Let Wallace step up a bit, but it really should be Rashad getting the opportunity to show, hey, why I'm the number one and how I can be the next Justin Jefferson if you give me that chance.
Listen, quiet as kept. We got over by getting Tyler Wallace. And if we don't use that man, he would have, if he didn't tear his ACL the year before, he would have been the first round draft pick. So quiet as kept. Like even EDC was like, when we picked, what round did we get Tyler in? Like
it was later.
Fifth? I think it was like the 4th or the 5th round.
I think it was a 4th or 5th, yeah.
He said, they were like, well, why did you go back? He was like, I couldn't believe. I remember he was like, I couldn't believe he was there.
Mm-hmm.
He was he had a first round, second round grade, but his only reason his grade went down to second, third round was because he had that tear in his knee. If you watch any of it, even after that, if you watch any of his game, man, watch his game in senior year. Man, I'm telling you, he could ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched his tape. He was tearing stuff up, man.
Get out the booth.
And I think he just like Wallace plays long. Like I said, he's an after the catch guy, and he plays like an X. He plays like an X. It's like everybody talking about, oh, he's going to move to the slot. This is all they kept talking about during the offseason.
He's going to have to move. Yeah, they were working him there, but he don't need to play.
I'm like, he's an outside guy, like same height as Bateman. So I don't see why he don't get those opportunities on the outside like Bateman does.
Bro, they all have speed. The slowest one is Prochet, and I think Prochet is good with the speed that he has.
Yeah, he's a tactician.
The thing
is, like he can put people on skates with a whip route. That is, I mean, he proved that against the tennis in the Titans game.
Oh yeah.
Now he did mess up and threw the caused the pick six against the Steelers game, but it was the same route, and he was putting guys on skates. He stopped on that one.
That was really his first time getting any action anyway.
Yeah.
So I gave him a pass on that. But
he gets a pass. I mean, because he only got one target the whole season, and then he comes against the Broncos. He did excellent against the Broncos, and I was like, wow, he needs more reps.
Yeah, even against Cincinnati that second game, like he was involved, but Tylen needs some time, bro. He needs to get Wallace he is a steal. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know if you saw any of his tape. I know you saw a lot of stuff with Prochet. I know and you were on Prochet more than anybody was.
Yeah, I told you. I was like, hey, I love this guy.
Some of the highlights. I remember you talking in Grave, and I was like, let me go back and check this brother out.
I'm telling you, that dude is a straight up tactician. He may not be the fastest guy, but when you go look at his college tape, you see him find holes. He reminds me of just a slightly more fast. Actually, I could even say, hey, Hines Ward. Hines Ward is what he reminds me of. Except he has more burst. I'm not saying speed. I'm saying just the burst when it comes to his routes. He's able to get in and out of those routes a little bit better. When it comes to overall top speed, he just don't have it.
Watch this. This is what I'm predicting. This is going to be. They got a NASCAR package. I believe it was with the NASCAR package is Bateman, Wallace, Duvernay, and Hollywood. I think they call it the NASCAR package. They was doing it in.
If they had a line, it would work.
Yeah, they were doing it against the Rams. It was working a little bit. That's a 4-2, a 4-2, 4-3, 4-3. Like Tylen got wheels.
Yeah.
That's why they want to see if he can kick return and punt return. Tylen got wheels. He don't have that quick like start, but once the engine start going, he got that long speed. Like if he get that go route, he gonna get the ball. You're not gonna get it over.
Nah.
And he just out jumping. But once he get the ball, he get going, bro. This watch his highlight film from his senior year.
Oh yeah,
you'll be impressed just off a screen pass to him.
And he played Texas pretty well. I think he played against Oklahoma pretty well. I like those two tapes that itself. They just kind of really spoke to his game.
He reminds me of a bigger version of Steve Smith. I'm gonna be honest with you, because he's tough. Like he'll try to run you over. He ain't trying to shake you. He gonna give you the business if he can. Mm-hmm. He's that tough.
So we're gonna have to put a pin in this because I gotta get rolling.
Yeah, and
I think it's been a great deal of discussion tonight. I appreciate everybody coming through. C-Ron, D, Bills, Engraving, all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Lisa, everybody coming through. We really appreciate the love. Like I said, we are almost at 1,000. Look, tell your friends, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell everybody that we are trying to get there. We are almost
mama's mom.
Yeah, tell your mamas, all of them. Let them know that we are almost there. We need their support. So if you can just share this with whoever you come across and come back for the next show. I'm thinking maybe we'll work some out Saturday. I was thinking, which I think you got studio time, don't you?
We're supposed to be in the studio. If not, I'll text you. Let you know.
Cool. So we'll hook up. I know for sure next Wednesday we'll hook it up again. Sure. But I think throughout the week, I think I try to, like I said, I've tried to put one down at least once or twice a week. I know this one is guaranteed. It's just the other one may be on a Monday, it might be on a Friday, it might be on a Saturday. It will not be on Friday this week because it's date night. So that's important to me, family.
Happy life. Keep the wife happy, brother.
Absolutely. But we'll try to make sure we fill in some things, maybe even Sunday, because we're not watching football Sunday. So I'm hoping that y'all have
something to talk about. A couple people.
Absolutely. And maybe I'll do some evaluations of each position as we go forward, have some things to talk about. But I appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down, baby. Cam, thanks for coming through, man.
Have a good one, man. Have a good night.
You too, man.
It's o'clock on the East Coast. Love is love, man. Have a good night.
You too, man.
Peace.
See you.